What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Rant and Bollox. I was going to say, how's everybody doing? But
you're expecting a response from
them.
them.
So
it's not a two-way system.
Been a good week. The weather has got so much better over here.
Is that what we're reduced to now?
The weather.
Yeah, it has gotten better, so I won't argue with that.
And you've got a new haircut.
A snazzy new haircut. Give it the credit it deserves.
A snazzy, slicked back. Only slicked back because you had a cut an hour ago.
Yeah. Hashtag slick Neary.
You happy with it?
No.
You feel the air breezing through?
I know. It feels weird after however long I've had my rag top.
I know.
It's like a year or something.
Yeah, Paul used to have like long hair, quite a lot below the ears and stuff, didn't you?
I was going for that homeless look.
Yeah.
By being homeless too.
Pulled it off. Pulled it off. How's the week been, man?
Been good.
What's been happening?
Been watching a lot of TV.
Oh, yeah?
And checking out some movies, but mostly just taking it easy.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's that weather. The weather, once it gets nice, you're just like, I don't want to do anything.
Yeah, you just want to go out and enjoy it.
You grumble when it's cold, and then when it's nice, you're like, screw it. I'm just
I don't think people realize, but in Canada, like, it's almost 6 months. You're kind of just inside.
You're just indoors, yeah.
Yeah, so you're hibernating, and that's why we are watching these movies.
I was excited because yesterday I look out my window and I see that the field across from my place, they have a softball.
Yeah.
And there's a game that started up. I'm like, oh, great, softball started. I don't even play softball. I don't even care. But I was like, there's people outside on the grass playing.
Yeah.
It's finally here. There's something to get out for. What about you? Up to anything?
What have I been up to? Just busy working.
That's not exciting. People tune in to be excited and taken out of their shitty lives.
Let me take them through the slow, long haul of the day.
Let's go through your first spreadsheet of the week.
I've been experimenting a bit more with the Oculus. Played a little bit of PlayStation, which I'll touch on. I also saw Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, you want to see that?
Yeah, saw that on Saturday. A few little updates.
Busy weekend for you.
More than that, what I just mentioned there. But
that was it. No, that's everything. Everyone can tune out now. You've heard the best of it.
But going in straight with the tech, apparently you've got something for me.
I saw this video from, I don't know who, by a company I don't know who, but the tech was cool. It's this desk, like a coffee table sized desk.
Yeah.
And the desk is interactive and you can touch it.
Okay.
But when you put objects on the desk, it reacts to whatever you put on it.
Right.
So if you put your phone on the desk, you can move files onto this thing. Because this thing's like its own laptop.
Yeah.
So you put the phone on the desk. I'm miming now. People listening can't see it, but I'm miming. You put the phone on the desk, and then it shows that it's linked to the thing. It's like touch, like wireless
That's
thing.
pretty cool. Yeah.
And then there's another one where like a guy got a notepad.
Yep.
And he puts a notepad, like a proper like sticky notepad.
Yeah.
And then what happens is just above that, a digital notepad pops up.
Okay.
Then you got a digital pen.
So if he writes something on that, it'll go to his phone as well.
Yeah, and it goes to the phone and everything.
That's cool.
And
it sounds a lot like the Microsoft Surface, which is like this big table, which is like an interactive table.
Oh, yeah.
And you can put stuff down on it. But that's pretty cool.
I'm just wondering, like, does it have a place in the future? Like, it's cool to look at.
Yeah.
But I don't know what the point of it would be.
Depends how productive it is, how much it costs.
That's
is
what
it
I
for
mean.
Businesses, you know. One thing,
I know it also had like a keyboard on the pad.
Yeah.
You can put a keyboard down.
What was the environment it had it in? Was it an office or was it like
they didn't
somewhere
show
at home?
It was just wide enough that you could just see the table.
Oh yeah, okay.
So I think it was for kind of home, kind of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like spiraling off that, I know that there's restaurants that have tables as iPads, kind of thing, and you can order.
Oh, weirdly enough, that's what it got me too. It was my
cool.
friend was in one in London.
Yeah.
He Instagrammed it or whatever, and I was like,
"What
the hell's going on there?" It's like he's on the table, and like on the table he's got like a thing, and then someone's on another part of the table with their phone.
Yeah.
I'm just like, this is just getting weird now.
My brother was in a bar the other day in London as well, and he said they had VR set up in there. So it's a bar. Yeah, I mean, can you imagine just having a few pints and going off and playing some Oculus?
Oh man, you'd be screwed.
So. But
people in London just don't want to talk to each other. That's what all this is about.
I think so. They've all got their
They're all just looking at the
booths.
Table in a VR helmet.
Well, this is another thing that kind of goes with that. I don't think it was the same bar, but he's been to one where you can pour your own pint, but you do it all digitally. So I think you PayPal it through like an iPad, and then but on this display you get.
I thought
to
you meant the beer was digital.
Well,
it's digital
can you
beer.
imagine that? It's the app, you know, where it fills the beer up.
Yeah.
You're like, well, that was shit.
That was $1.99. What was that?
But yeah, you can imagine kind of choosing your beer, like, oh, I'll have an IPA, and it's like. And then it's got like cool design. Maybe it's all animated for you. And you click on it, boom. It's like taking it from your account, taking your account and your house. Here's your beer. But it's a new world, man.
I know. Don't drink in VR, kids. That's all we have.
Don't drink in VR.
That's our public statement.
I haven't been there yet. I haven't been I haven't been hungover in VR. I don't even want to go there.
Oh,
but
God.
I haven't been like drunk in VR either. I don't know what that would be like. But
well, we're gonna find out eventually.
We'll find out eventually.
Well, we had that thing. I remember we were first talking about. It's like when it gets to the place where it's just like a little flimsy, thin thing that you put over your eyes, not the kind of helmet.
Sure.
You know, there's gonna be people pulling pranks where they like slip it on their friend's head,
Oh, God.
and then the friend wakes up and he's still kind of drunk, and he's like, "Zombies everywhere," and that kind of thing. You know,
It's gonna be nuts.
Yeah.
So.
But I think
Taking the pranks, the April Fools, and everything to a whole new level, isn't it?
goddamn April Fools. I hate April Fools.
Did you see? That's one of the things on my list. Did you see any good April stuff? Like I know Google had.
I just
Pac-Man.
ignore the internet for like 6 hours on April Fools.
I
I don't
got-
tune into lunchtime when everyone's
I got done by one. It was like a brewery in Toronto, Amsterdam brewery, and they said it was like some kind of like. It was a beer and it was called Training Wheels and it was 0% alcohol. And I was like, does this really exist? You know? And I was like, oh,
Training
it's
Wheels.
April. It's April 1st.
I saw there was one that got a few people because you brought up baseball earlier. The Rogers Center where the Toronto Blue Jays play.
Yeah.
There was an article saying they might change it back to the Sky Dome.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, great, I love that name.
Everyone keeps calling it that. Anyway.
Yeah.
Like we've only known it as Rogers
We've only ever
Centre,
known as
haven't we?
Rogers Center, yeah. But I think Sky Dome was what the original name for it was.
It's a bit like, I know in England, a lot of people call it, it's like the O2.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
But it was like the Millennium Dome, the O2.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't even know what it's called now. I don't know if it's still called that. Yeah, Google did that Pac-Man. I'm trying to think of any other good ones that came out. Samsung should have just blown up the Samsung 8. They should have just blown it up. I mean, that would have been great. So, because that's another thing on my list is that did get announced last week. I don't know if you saw that. So they came out the gate, announced the 8, and they didn't say like, don't worry, everyone's safe in your seat.
Yeah.
But they did answer straight off the cuff, like, we've had some problems.
Yeah.
And we've been dealing with them, and we're coming back even stronger, kind of thing. So at least they came out and said, because if they came out and didn't say anything about it, the
Samsung,
guy,
are just getting shit on though.
he should have been wearing like Kevlar or something.
Their phones explode. Their TVs are spying on you.
Yeah.
What was the other thing? Something went wrong with their washing machine or something as well.
Oh, yeah.
Guys just can't get their act together. It's like, this is what you do. You make tech stuff.
I would have brought the phone out with a bomb suit on.
like a hurt locker.
Yeah.
Just slowly walking out.
And it literally takes 10 minutes of the conference to bring it out.
Yeah.
Because the guy thought he might have dropped it.
Yeah.
And then they found out there was another one in the building.
Yeah.
So.
Or he just like, he shakes it and drops it, and then he just hits the floor and grabs his head, and everyone's like, what's going to happen?
I'm kind of glad that happened to Samsung because it's like, it's given them a slap in the face, and they've come back with this phone which is pretty sweet. It's powerful. It's got a really nice design. It's got this edge-to-edge display. I don't know if you know much about it or seen much about it, but it's definitely...
Is that the bend, like it's bent over the edge?
Yeah, but it's like all the... Before it was the Galaxy Edge. Now it's just called like the Samsung Galaxy S8 or whatever.
Yeah.
And they've all got it. Interesting enough,
is that bit touchable?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And you can even
So when you're holding your phone, do you not like screw it up?
I don't know how that works, actually.
If I'm holding my phone like this is a Samsung.
I know what you mean, yeah.
And I'm not, like,
maybe that's not...
Again, I'm miming for people who can't bloody see us.
Yeah, I don't know how that works. But
I have a haircut, I have a phone in my hand you can't see.
I'm completely
just
new person.
completely lost
the
point of what we're doing here.
I don't know. When you started talking, I didn't know who you were.
From South Africa now too.
But you look at the iPhone now, and it's just like... I don't know. It's starting to look a bit square. We need some curved edges.
You need a curve edge. You need to bend it around.
Putting the pressure on. So
whatever happened to that phone that was supposed to be bendable? Remember that one?
Another 5 years probably. Yeah. So
I did see one cool tech thing before I forget it. Just jumped into my head.
Oh yeah.
A brand new push now to make. How to explain it? It's solar cells.
Yeah.
But they're in a thin film.
Okay.
Like a real thin layer.
Yeah.
That's so good that you could put it in a liquid kind of state. You could literally paint them onto something.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It used to be, they were all silicone based cells.
Yeah.
But then what happened was someone around 2015,
yeah,
he realized that this other guy had the formula.
Yeah.
But people had read it wrong. So they went, oh, okay, if we do it like this, then this type of cell will work. And this type of cell doesn't need to be a solid state thing. It can actually just be linked to liquid.
Yeah.
So now like, we can just make paint now.
Yeah.
And there's like, oh crap. So now like there's a huge push to that. So I'm like, that'd be great.
That's pretty sweet, yeah.
But like if that took off in a few years, you paint the side of your house and you got a solar powered house. Cheap and cheerful.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the only tech news I have for this week.
The other one was I went to get my eyes checked on Saturday.
Right.
And it was my wife's optometrist.
Right.
I was going to say A different word there.
Optometrist.
Yeah.
Optometrist.
So yeah, we're getting our eyes checked, and I asked him, I was like, so what's VR? Like, what's that doing to people? You got some blind people coming in, But no, I mean, people have been talking about it. He's, they have been coming in because the mobile VR is the most popular type of it. So,
the phone one.
But I was talking to him about it, and this guy, he knows his tech. So it's a shout out to him because like he was coming up with he knew like the next Windows update. He knew it was called like the Creators Update and things that were coming out in it. He knew about the Oculus. He was like, "Well, have you got the Oculus? You got the Vive?
Yeah.
I was like, "What's going on here?"
And,
I'm not going to try and guess his age, but he was an older guy. So I was really impressed. Yeah. So I was just talking tech with him. Yeah. And then my wife's just in the corner, just like, "What the bloody hell just happened?"
Just come in and get your glasses and get out.
Yeah. But he said at the moment it's not been a problem, but obviously it could do coming up because of the whole, you're focusing on, we're seeing things up close because we're looking at a lens, like when we got VR on, but VR tricks you to make it.
It gives you the depth.
Yeah. He did mention something really interesting, saying that they're doing studies with VR to help people and optometrists to kind of study how people see.
Yeah, because your eye, like I remember we talked about that, how perfect VR is going to be really hard because any tiny mistake, your eye will know. Yeah. And even though your brain can't quite register it, like your eye will know. Yeah. So right now you have that problem, like you said, like it's a half an inch from your actual eye. Totally. But you're being fooled into thinking it's, 6 miles away or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably do an eye test on one of those, Oh, yeah. But the cool thing with what they're doing is they're kind of putting gamification in it. So they're doing like achievements and levels. Oh, so cool, they're kind of, because it's pretty boring just to kind of study that and put a headset on someone and say like, can you see this and can you do this? But when you put game achievements in there, it's kind of helping them along. Yeah. So there's like these little apps that are coming
Everything
out.
in the world would be better if you could level up.
Just level up.
Be great.
Unlocked.
Like everything you could do, you just get better. You go on dates. Yeah. You'd be like, I screwed that date up, or I made a really nice gesture, so I'll get a little bit of a boost there. So on my next date, I'll be even better. People would just be nicer. Like if you could reward nicety with an actual scorecard, people are like, I did 3 nice things today. I leveled up. Yeah. Got myself a brand new coat. You just got your rewards.
Achievement unlocked. And we've got these scout badges on our coats.
Exactly.
And stuff like that.
That's why scouts were so popular. They were the first stage of gamification. It's like, oh, well, I can get rewarded for this. Well, you don't get rewarded, but we'll give you a little badge to make you be like, oh, okay, I can start a fire. I'm a smart guy.
Respect. Yeah, I was just impressed with that. So, but it was a fun little weekend, fun little eye exam. Pretty much.
Are your eyes okay now, or are you blind?
Oh, completely blind in the left eye. So actually, they're pretty much the same. My wife's improved, so that just happens.
How the hell does that happen? I thought you were always screwed.
No, apparently they can improve. I mean, like, very minimal. Yeah. No, so she was the one that brought up the VR because she was like, I'm worried about this VR. Like, I don't trust it,
She's in it all day, every day. That's her problem.
I can't get her out of it.
Yeah. So she's like, can we go to bed now? And she's just lying in bed with the helmet on. Yeah. 1 minute. I'm just cutting up some more fruit.
Yeah. I found her in there on Saturday and she was playing. Yeah. And she had worked up a sweat. So I was like, what's going on? So you need to get off this.
Get off this. No, just 1 more hour. Yeah. 1 more game.
That didn't happen at all. She'll kill me. It actually happened the other way around. She found me. But we'll get to that.
Don't look at me. Don't look at me.
Yeah, that moves nicely into some gaming news. Something I'm very excited about. I just found out today, and I think you're going to love it.
That's iffy.
Yeah.
I am a
You love something?
Prick.
No. Dead inside.
Unless it's made by Marvel, because I'm a Marvel fanboy.
So you know all about the exclusives, like PlayStation always buy an exclusive and Xbox. So PlayStation, they have their own VR.
I prefer to call it gaming slavery.
Gaming slavery?
Yeah, it's like, no, you can't work for anybody else. You work for us.
You will... Yeah, you will fucking... Yeah, anyway, so they've got Batman VR, which is where... I don't know if you know much about it, but you basically go down into
I like those two words together, though, so
exactly,
that's good.
Yeah. But this is PlayStation that's got it. They got the exclusive. So I think you get to put on a suit, you meet Alfred, you're in the cave.
The exclusive?
Yeah, they bought it.
Because Arkham was for all the consoles, wasn't it?
Arkham was, but this is just an exclusive VR experience.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, on the weekend I was reading and some guy said, that exclusivity was only 6 months. Right. It came out 6 months ago. This morning they announced it for Oculus and the Vive. Oh, yeah. So 26th of April.
Yeah.
So we've got to get in that, man. So basically, it's like an hour long. Like you get the suit on, you do all this stuff. So
get to be Batman.
Yeah. So exactly, get to that'll
be a great little game.
Right down your alley. Yeah. So super excited about that. What was the other one? I had to go on, and this is for mobile VR as well. But I had to go on Ghost in the Shell. Ghost in the Shell had a VR experience.
Oh yeah,
so it's
for
like
the new movie,
a 3D trailer. So
yeah.
it's when she's on top of that building and she turns around and falls off.
Yeah.
You're basically on top of the building looking around, and then she falls off, but it's kind of in 3D as well, so you really feel like you're up there.
Oh, right.
But you can do this on your mobile as well. You don't just need an Oculus. And then you go down and she like takes some people out in the room. But it's kind of cool. Another example, like I just mentioned last week, where all these movie studios are starting to couple everything up.
Yeah, like you had
VR.
the Beauty and the Beast, and
which is kind of cool. So yeah, that was fun. What do you think of Ghost in the Shell? What's your thoughts? Because I haven't
seen it. I wasn't a big fan of like it beforehand, so I don't know much about it.
I don't know much about it either. Like I know there's a lot of people like criticizing that it's Scarlett Johansson playing, but
it looked okay on the trailers, but I was like, I don't really see anything in this I want to see.
I'm hearing that a lot of people love it, but if you just don't take into account, like, you know, like there's so many like strong opinions on it because of the manga films and stuff like that. So if you just watch it as a film, you know,
anime, you got it wrong. We're getting in so much trouble for that.
Yeah. Manga.
I think, like I don't know who it was made for really, because it seems like it was. It's cool if you like the comic or you like the anime, and then you're like, oh, okay, they made a version of it like that.
Yeah.
But apparently they didn't do a good job remaking. Like they're remaking a cartoon that's already made.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, I don't know who you're making this for.
Interesting.
It's that same old Hollywood thing of like, we've got a property. There's people who are already in there.
Sure.
So we can just build off that.
Yeah.
Let's not make anything new, because that never works.
Yeah.
Except for when it works at every Oscars every year.
Well, I think that one's... They haven't made a movie out of it? Or they have, do you say? Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah.
So, have they?
Yeah.
I bet, isn't it a anime movie?
Yeah,
so,
anime.
Yeah, but like
but
an
then
actual...
Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah. So, I think there's definitely money there, but I think, like you said, it's just a Hollywood thing. They're just looking to cash in.
Yeah.
And they know that they will.
Like, this was made 20 years ago, so now it's time to remake it.
Well, they pretty much answered it by putting Scarlett Johansson as the main actor, because if they wanted it to be like an R-rated different film, they would have chosen an unknown actor. Yeah. So, that's pretty much answered that. But what was the other thing? Just because I was doing that in VR, the other one was Walk the Plank VR. So it basically takes you up to a like 70-story building. Yeah. And the elevator opens. So you have to get in this elevator, press the button, it takes you up, and then the door opens. And then there's just a plank. And you have to walk out, and you're really, really high up. The cool thing is, the guy who made the game says, you should actually put a real plank down in real life. Yeah. Because it will add to the thing. So
because you'll feel it on your feet.
You'll feel it on your thing. And then I was even thinking you should get some desk fans and put them in one direction, you know, to go over. But anyway, I tried it. I got like some sweaty palms because I don't really like heights too much. Yeah. But my wife wouldn't do it. It's like she was like properly scared. Just shows you.
We should definitely put the plank down and make her do that.
Yeah, and we'll do like the wind as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just shows you how immersive this
Throw
stuff
birds
is.
at her.
So, yeah. It's a pretty awesome experience.
This is the thing, when you're explaining it, because I've been in it, I know what it's like. If you haven't played it, I don't know how well it registers.
Yeah, like we were saying, when you see it on a screen, it's so different to actually being in there. So this one, you really do have to imagine you're on top of a skyscraper. Yeah. You know, like there's the...
it's like the word we keep using is experience. You experience how it goes. So like when you're telling me you go up, you press the button and stand there. I know what you're talking about. I understand.
The funny thing with that is me just saying, you have to go up in it. You actually have to step back into an elevator because you won't get in the elevator otherwise. Yeah. So this one you have to use the room a bit more. Like a lot of VR experiences, you just stand where you are and you turn around. This one you actually have to step 2 steps back and go in the elevator. And the funny thing is, as the doors close, you can see a crack, you know, because the doors don't fully close. Yeah. So you can actually see it going up, and you're like, hang on a second, how far is this going?
Yeah, hang on a minute.
The funny thing as well is at the end of the plank, you can choose in the options. You can say put donuts at the end, or put like a cake, or put something at the end like a pigeon or whatever. And it means that when you're walking across. So, but that was done by an indie studio, and I think it was just one guy, and he charges like $5, which is nothing. It's like a Starbucks coffee. Yeah. So it's like boom, buy that. So yeah. Good on him. But it's super immersive. It's like one of the best demos. Like if I'm showing the VR off, and that's one of the things I've noticed is that VR is just awesome just for demos and showing it off to people, like watching you. Yeah. So it's another one on the list, just being like, I've got to show some people this one. But and then the last VR one, because I don't want to go rant on about VR too much because I know we do it a lot. But officially, Super Hot is my favorite game.
Yeah.
I play. So my wife came down into.
Can you save it yet?
You can only save it when you finish the game. I read. So that's why I was playing it on the weekend. Is in once I finish it, you can go back to any stage you want.
I get
so
you.
It's like you basically have level select.
Yeah.
So I'm at the end stage. So the end kind of like 5 minutes of it, but it's super hard. Super hard.
Super hard.
I was playing it for maybe 45 minutes to an hour, but some of the moves in it, you have to kind of dodge a bullet.
Yeah.
But then you're thinking, you're like, well, how am I going to get him? But then while you're thinking, you're actually like pretty much, kneeling down and you're doing a lunge and you're doing you're doing that. So before you know it, I was like, I was sweating my fucking ass off. But Leia came in and she was just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, she probably thought I was in VR porn.
Yeah.
But she came in and she was
taking
like...
your shirt off. You're just running around like throwing water. And you're like, oh my God.
The thing is, she's not played that game. She's just played like the very casual experiences, like the whale one and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But I was like,
that's not casual. That's amazing.
Well, it's amazing, but
it's casual.
Like,
you don't do
have
anything.
You could lunge.
You could try and jump on the whale.
So, yeah. But anyway, after playing that, like it is my favorite experience. Like super cool.
Am I right now? You got the full 360.
Yeah, so I got another sensor, so you can spin all the way around. So you can get the wire wrapped all the way around.
Yeah.
So
everybody knows we can talk about VR all day.
We're
the official VR podcast.
It's just super.
Come here
fun,
for all your useless news with no facts.
It's the first time you're going to see us as well when we're in VR
with big helmets on, being like, "Oh my God!"
I just love that I put you in it, and I went to the bathroom, and I came back, and you were like, I was getting off the floor a minute ago. It's like, how did you fall over? Yeah.
Because I was playing Super Hot.
Yeah.
I was like dodging, and I'm like, I'm just going to lean over here, and I'm just going to lean on this table.
Yeah.
And I just go, table doesn't seem very sturdy, and I'm on the floor. I'm like, there's that weird moment of falling where you're like, oh, that's right, I'm in a game. I have a helmet on my head right now.
You pulled a Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Yeah, exactly.
Like falling through the snooker table. So, but yeah, after playing them, and like, there's a few more demos to try out, and Batman, I can't wait. But Super Hot, officially favorite game. Like super, super cool.
Yeah.
You get shotguns later on. You get different ways of taking people out.
Did you play that robot one anymore?
Yeah, I played a little bit. So there's another update to that. I haven't put it in yet, but the cool one so this is Robo Recall. And it comes with modifications. So you can kind of change the game up here and there. And someone's modified it so you can get Captain America's shield.
Oh, yeah.
So you've got one gun and his shield, but his shield you can throw away. So if you like it at people, basically just like in the movies, the Avengers and stuff.
Flinging at somebody.
So so that's one of the top mods as well.
Yeah.
So we've got to put that in.
Like, I just want to see games like classic games like Golden Axe.
Oh man, yeah.
But like if there was like two of us, we could both play it.
Yeah.
And like you get like a thing,
just battling against each other.
Yeah.
Actually, one of my favorite videos, and we'll have to put it up when we do a VR like edition, but is Paul. I showed him 2 weeks ago VR, and he was trying the lightsabers. I don't think I sent you the video, or maybe I did. But the first time he put them on, because you have two-handed ones, and you could just hear. And then you just went like you basically like Darth Maul. But it was a good video because like I had the same chuckle, but I was just on my own in the room, and I was like, this is pretty fucking cool. But when you did it,
so
you were like,
simple.
Yes. And then the next video I had was you were dodging bullets and you had to knock them back.
Yeah.
But you were in the middle of the room. You stood sideways because that's where you have to go.
Yeah.
I don't think you knew where the TV or anything was in that room anymore. And then I could see you like properly, like if you had a real lightsaber, I saw your stance and I was like, yep, he's there. Yeah. He's in there.
I'm in it. I can't get out. That's what I mean. When these games get to like the real immersive levels of your Battlefronts and stuff.
Yeah.
And you can put it with this kind of tech. It'd be so much fun.
Yeah.
It'd be so much fun.
Yeah. And I know
it's just like playing outside with your friends.
Yeah.
But you get to do it when you're a grown up.
Oh yeah. I know.
You get to have like all those childhood experiences of like, I want to be in Star Wars and you want to be in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like, we can do it.
Yeah.
We don't just have to hold the controller. We can put it in and we're like, all right, I'm gonna get in the X-Wing.
Yeah.
And you can get on the ground and then we'll play together.
Apparently that's the next PlayStation exclusive to lose it is the X-Wing. So apparently you go in the X-Wing. I don't think you shoot the torpedo or whatever into the Star.
Death Star,
But I think you do go down into the caverns and stuff. Yeah. So that's the next one that will be on Oculus.
Oh, cool.
So I think PlayStation are buying them, but only for 6 months to a year. Like Resident Evil's a year.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, we won't be able to play that until January. But the good thing is when we do, we get to
Resident
play
Evil's a full...
It's a full year exclusive.
But it's a full game?
Oh, it's actually, one of the first full games.
That's what I was going to say.
You can play the whole game.
A full game in this
thing. Yeah. But technically, Super Hot as well. Super Hot is probably about 3 hours. Yeah. So, but one thing you didn't see in Super Hot is when you finish like a section, you go back to a room a bit like that 80s room, and you actually have to put floppy disks in. So they must have got and then you get another hard drive or floppy disk and put it in. So I'm on I think I'm on like an expansion level. Yeah. But the funny thing of that is when you put the floppy disk in Super Hot, then there's an actual helmet above you in the virtual room, and you have to pull that helmet down into your head. Oh, okay. So it's like you putting VR on. So you're putting VR on in VR. But it does it really well.
Inception levels of gaming.
Yeah. It's just super awesome.
Yeah. I'm thinking that's probably the way it'll go with games. They won't release like a full game. They'll do like an hour-long game like the Batman. Yeah. And then they'll just give you an extension and an extension.
As long as they charge for it. I don't want to play Super Hot, which is 3 hours, and pay $80 for it. And it's not. Super Hot's like $25-$30, so that's fine. PlayStation, unfortunately, they charge because they have to burn it onto CDs and stuff, because not all the games are digital. I think Batman was like $40-$50, and that's just for an hour. Just for an hour. On Oculus or on Steam, I think it's going to be about $20, maybe $15. And that's fine. I don't mind paying that. But if they charge like 60,
like that's good considering the tech is brand new.
Yeah, no, totally. But if they charge 60 or 70, like I'm gonna get it elsewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
at that point you're competing with the brand new Uncharted 4 and Horizon Zero Dark 30.
You need
and
to
all
be
that.
realistic. So
either charge a little for a small game, or just bring out something that's really epic.
Yeah.
Like if they could bring out something like Zelda with the VR, you'd be like, oh yeah, sure, I'll pay $150 for that.
You're selling it like with Zelda and the Switch kind of thing.
So what is the next big game coming out for that?
For the Switch?
For the Switch too.
Next big game for the Switch will be Mario Kart. I think that's next month, but it's technically Mario Kart from the Wii, like the Mario Kart 8, but it's like an expansion.
They re-emulated it.
The next huge one is Mario. So it's Mario, I can't remember what it's called now, but it's basically like Mario 64. And I think it's out in November.
Mario, the Revenge.
Mario 64.
Mario, I'm back to kill you.
Out in November. The only thing they've messed up in that, for me, is they put him in a world of humans. So there's like these other human-looking characters. Right. And whenever I think of Mario, I just think like toads and frogs and that quirky world.
That's the point. He's in a different world.
Human, like, I don't know, technically I guess he's a human, but I don't know.
But he's supposed to be the human that went to that world.
Yeah.
Like that's their world. He's in their world. It's not our world.
Yeah. It's a little odd, but we'll have to see. But that's selling well. Another game.
Oh, we have an Xbox now too. Remember,
we do have an Xbox. We got Xbox One games. So we just got so much.
We got so much we don't know what to do with ourselves.
So fucking lucky. So
we're not going to release any material anymore. It's just going to be us playing games and laughing.
And you will love it.
Just 24-hour live stream.
Another game I played on the weekend was Titanfall 2. They had a free weekend, so I took note of that. Oh, yeah. So, because I was been interested in the game. I'm a cheap fucker.
You're a cheap fucker.
No, basically what I've heard about this game was it came out the same time as Battlefield 1 and Call of Duty. So
that's the World War I one.
Battlefield 1 is World War.
I'm such an idiot when we talk about these things.
I know.
What can we talk about comic books?
I feel like a bloody wall.
I know. Fucking useless. Look, I got the Xbox. Yeah. So that's my contribution to Gaming Corner. So
have you turned it on?
Yeah, that's all I need to know. No, I can't turn it on because I don't have a HDMI. That's your problem.
Yeah. Oh, we can get you one of those. Yeah, but basically EA, who own DICE as well, who make Battlefield 1. Yeah. So they brought out Battlefield 1, and I think 2 weeks later, they brought out Titanfall 2. And it was like, why are you bringing those games out so close to each other? Because they're both first-person games, they're both shooters. And then they got, by Activision, is Call of Duty, which is like huge as well. Yeah. So Battlefield 1 beat out Call of Duty. Both those games overshadowed Titanfall 2. Yeah. And I was hearing in all the forums and everyone was saying like, man, this is an awesome game. Yeah. But Battlefield 1 is an awesome game as well. So everyone was kind of playing that. So
Battlefield has the name recognition.
It does, yeah. But Titanfall was popular, the first one. This is Titanfall 2.
I think I remember the first one.
It was on Xbox. It was actually exclusive to Xbox.
Yeah, I think I played like the first level. Like
they had this demo.
Is that the one where it's like There's like an electric lasso.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah. I remember that.
It's basically the sequel to it.
Yeah.
And they had a free weekend, and I downloaded it, and it just
electric lasso. I sound like an idiot.
I understood. I saw it. I
saw
it come out the wrist, just like Spider-Man.
So,
man, it was good. Like, I was actually playing it. My wife was like,
"It's the full game."
It's the full multiplayer game,
right?
And it's just a portion of the single player. And the cool thing with the single player is they put you about halfway through when it gets really good, kind of thing. Yeah. So you're
not learning how to put like your boxes together,
put
and
your
guns
gun
together
in your holster.
Yeah.
Walk.
Press
through.
X to jump over this cliff.
But
you
do have like these kind of courses where, like a tutorial course where you can just keep running it and you have to beat people's times. But it just felt great. The guns felt really, really solid. The sound was great. Really good soundtrack. I noticed the soundtrack stood out. In multiplayer, it's like so satisfying. Like if you killed like 5 people in a row, it gives you like bonus points, and then you can call your Titan, and your Titan comes down from like up above.
Titan's like a big robot.
Yeah, he's like 5 times bigger than you. And when your Titan's down on the ground, everyone else is like, "Holy shit, we got to get out of here."
Yeah,
and someone else might have their Titan down.
Right,
it gets pretty hectic.
Yeah.
But that first time, like I was playing this game as well. This is another thing that stood out. Like I'm a bit of a noob when it comes to controller like games. I'm used to a mouse and keyboard. So I went in. I like killed 5 people in a row.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm loving this. And then I'm like, are these bots? I thought I didn't think they were real people, and they weren't. They had names. I was killing people. I was like, I'm pretty good at this. Called the Titan down.
I was killing people.
Yeah. So I was like, second on the team by the end of the round.
Yeah.
So that also helps me liking the game.
Yeah.
But
anything that makes you feel better.
Yeah. Usually I just suck, but it just had a really good feel. So I'm thinking about buying it now, just because of that.
Yeah.
So they gave you a free trial. It
I
plays
you
great.
get a giant robot. That's what I want.
It got overshadowed.
All I'm thinking now is I want that in VR.
It made me, that I know. Well, I was playing it. I'm like 2D experience.
Yeah, 2D games. You're playing a 2D game. I'll take a break. I'll play a 2D game.
I'll play a 2D game. Yeah. So, but yeah, it was good, and those free trials work because they're probably gonna get my money for it. So
yeah, they're really clever with that.
It kind of reminded me a little bit of Pacific Rim, and I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah,
Pacific Rim.
Imagine
2.
Pacific Rim with.
I'd want an even bigger though. Yeah.
With VR.
Oh man.
Like if you could have
that'd be excellent.
The VR experience of like that Titan, like you had a giant Jaeger, and then you could have soldiers on the ground, and if you're running as one of the soldiers and you look up and like the things,
it's like that robot one, Lost that we watched or whatever.
The thing is, we're always coming up with these games, and about 10 years ago, I never would have done that.
No,
because I'm like, it's too much, it's too hard.
Yeah,
the most complicated game I can get is like Red Dead Redemption or whatever.
Yeah,
but like games are going so fast into like this crazy 4K 360 world. I'm like, they're just gonna get even better.
No, I know,
even crazier.
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine back when we were kids playing Duck Hunt that you could have a game like Battlefront?
It's just nuts, I know.
You're just like, oh yeah, we're just going to go online and you're going to play against 50 other people all around the world in the same environment, and the buildings will collapse and people will be able to knock it down, and you can have 5 guys in tanks and you can have planes. It's like, no, that's crazy.
There was, going back, Battlefield started with a game called Codename Eagle, and this is a long time ago. Yeah. And I got it on PC.
Is this on PC?
Yeah, I got it on PC Gamer. The front of the magazine had a CD, and I used to get PC Gamer.
I remember that. They used to give CDs there. Yeah,
every month I used to get it, and I got, this is back in England, and I got this, I put the CD in, and I was just like, I was bored. It was a Saturday, and I was like, I want to play a game. Codename Eagle. I was like, that sounds kind of cool. Put it in, and then I was walking around. I was this little character. It's like graphics were good at the time. I was like, pretty sweet this. And I saw a plane. And I was just like, okay. And I was driving around in like tanks and vehicles. And I was like, this is kind of cool. And at the time, like Halo was being teased. It was like, there's a game called Halo might be coming out. And it was like, you can drive around vehicles and stuff. So anyway, I was driving around in these tanks. I was shooting things. The environment was all
killing real
3D.
People.
And I was like, hey, this is cool. And I saw a plane. And I was just like, that plane to me, I just thought it was a prop. I just thought it was just there in a hangar. And it's just a prop. Walked up to the plane. It goes, press E. Pressed E, and the rotor blades went. I was like, are you telling me I can fly this? And you can fly it with your mouse. As soon as I took off, I went into the room. My brothers were in the other room. I was like, I found it. I always remember doing that. I was just like, I found it. And they were like, what do you mean? The game. And basically, that game is Battlefield. It's a game where you can just do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And just like that feeling of just getting in that plane and flying around and doing loop to loops and getting out midair and putting your parachute on. it's Battlefield, but like discovering it back then, it's just crazy.
I remember. What was Battle? Oh, I can't remember which Battlefield it was. Xbox 360 Battlefield. You can go online. I got real deep into that one.
Oh yeah.
And that was crazy good.
We did a little trailer.
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah.
Our trailer?
And I was just like, this game's amazing.
Yeah.
But then the game that came out after that one is when they started to introduce environmental damage, where like you would knock down a skyscraper.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And if you had enough tank shots, it would knock this skyscraper down.
Yeah.
And then that damage, like the dust and all that, would stay in the bloody the environment.
And snipers can't get you and stuff like that.
And I was just like, this is getting crazy.
I know.
And so now you've got Star Wars and you've got
you
Battlefield.
Have to think about all these things.
How many people can play Battlefield 1?
I think Battlefield 1's 64, but I think the next Battlefield's going to 100. Yeah. Like 50 aside. So.
And these are like fully interactive environments and everything. And they're all tracking everything going on. It's crazy.
Like you can choose to be an engineer.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's my thing. I fix vehicles. And I'm like, well, I'm really good in the vehicle.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, so I'll repair for you. And then when, like I'll efficiently get us to this place here. And I'm like, well, I'm good with the cannon. Someone else is like, well, I'm really good just shooting. You get me in there, I'll get out, get the flag, come back. Yeah. You can have your own like team. Well, that's what it is, a squad basically. Yeah. But it's awesome that you can do that.
It's why I think the VR is going to change. Like everyone says it's antisocial, but like you said, when you were playing Super Hot and you're getting into it and you're like, you're sweating and all that.
Yeah.
If you take that physical experience and you tie it to gaming, you've got this whole different way of going through the system that's going to bind you to the people you're playing with. So like you might not be in the same room as the other guy you're playing with.
Yeah.
But if you actually have to dodge and jump and like do all these things, you've got a physical memory attached to the actual playing of the game.
Yeah.
Whereas usually you're just sitting there playing with the controller or you're moving the mouse.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you physically have to like dodge something and you've got to like punch something or you got to like run over and pick a guy up or like you're an engineer and you're like at the back of the tank going, shh, I gotta fix it. And the guy's in the tank, he's like swiveling around me like, hurry up.
Yeah.
All of that is going to play into your, your fucking neurons and your synapses and your brain's going to be like, is this actually happening?
Yeah.
Is this a real experience?
Yeah.
At least to the point where you and your friends will all be like, oh man, you remember that time you got in that plane and we like, you came down, you saved us and all this? And they'd be like, yeah, it was awesome. And you'll have like a physical memory attached to it. And you'll have an achievement, yeah. So I think in terms of being antisocial, for now it is. But I think in 5 years when we're able to play Battlefield in VR together, you're just going to be like, this is the most fun we've ever had.
Well, here's something that's kind of cool and I want to try out. And next time I try it out will probably be with you.
Yeah.
So there's a game for VR called Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes, I think.
Right.
I think that's the name of the game. I've got it.
Sounds like something we can do. Just waffle on.
Very, very funny. I think we'll have a lot of fun with it. So basically, you've got the VR on, and you've got a bomb, and the bomb's got switches, and it's got ticking, and it's ticking. I don't know if it's a 3-minute countdown, a 99-second countdown, 5-minute. However, the instructions are on the screen, and I read the instructions.
Oh yeah.
So
cool.
I tell you, like, flick the red switch. Is there a red switch? And you're like, yeah.
Right.
And I don't even know if I get to see the bomb. I definitely get the instructions and you don't see them.
Right.
But I have to talk through and other people that are in the room. And it's like, is it a blue wire, the red wire, the yellow wire? And you're like, well, we got to work out this bloody riddle first or whatever, So then, but the only thing you see is this bomb. And it's just got so many gadgets on there. You're like, I don't know what to do. So I love the fact that it's getting the audience involved because it's fun enough just watching someone in VR, to be honest. Yeah. But after like half an hour of them in the same game, you're kind of like, okay, whatever. So this is cool that it does it that way. And there's a couple more experiences where you can, I think there's like a Godzilla type game where you in VR are Godzilla and the rest of us are throwing like planes and missiles at you.
Oh,
but we're doing it with our phones and stuff.
Yeah.
So again, we get involved. But yeah, this bomb one sounds like it could be really funny. So
I think there's got to be some sort of game they make which is like a split game where you can play it as a VR.
Yeah.
Where you can play it as a regular game.
Yeah.
Or you can have like a multiplayer.
Yeah.
So for example, at Titanfall.
Yeah.
Imagine if I got the VR.
Yeah.
And I could be the Titan.
Oh yeah.
And you could just play the regular console.
Yeah, that'd be
game.
fun actually. Yeah.
So like I'd be at my place and I'd be the Titan walking around.
Yeah.
And you'd be just playing regular Titanfall.
Yeah.
And then like you could send me messages in the VR. So it's a multiplayer but with two different systems.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
So like you can.
I can see that happening.
You have VR, for example. So I don't have VR.
Yeah.
So the VR is at your place. So you would be able to play the VR version.
Yeah.
But I could still play with you.
Yeah.
It would just be a different type of game.
Yeah, totally.
So for example, like you'd be Godzilla.
Yeah.
And I'd be like mini Godzilla friend or whatever. And I'd get to play on the ground.
I think that's definitely happening. That will definitely happen.
Because it's the easiest way of getting more people to like VR and also encourage them to get it. Because like just going out and buying it on its own, you'd be like, well, I'm still going to just be able to play by myself.
Sure.
But if you can make a multiplayer where you can have your VR and everyone else doesn't have to have VR, then like it's great.
Yeah, because you can kind of, that someone is in that Godzilla and he's enjoying himself and he's 360 and everything, but you know that you can mess him up. Yeah. Like you can even put him on the floor, in real life by circling around him or something. And it's
like you said, you don't have to sit there thinking, like if you have a PlayStation and your friend has a PlayStation, you can just have a games night like every other time. You just bring over your PlayStation. Yeah. And then you hook it up to a TV in the room. Yeah. And you're both playing in the same room, which he has the VR. Yeah. Then you swap back and forth.
Oh, yeah.
Someone's got to be thinking of a game
Fun
like that.
Times, yeah. Otherwise, they've just stolen it from us. So
bastards. I knew we shouldn't have been making these ideas out.
Another couple of gaming updates. I had to text you midweek about it because I was like, what are they doing to us? Yeah. Wipeout is one of my all-time favorite games. They've announced that's coming out in June. But I've got a list of games that are coming out, and June is a top month because Tekken is also Tekken is, I think the first game that came out on the PlayStation was Tekken 1. Oh yeah, and I love Tekken. Wipeout again.
You love that kangaroo feckin' weird, crazy
Crash Bandicoot. So there's 3 of them.
No, Tekken.
Oh, you mean in Tekken? Yeah. Sorry,
that's Alex.
The raptor is Alex, and the kangaroo is Roger.
Oh, it's Roger.
So, yeah.
I thought you were the kangaroo.
There's a panda in it as well and stuff. So, but we're definitely playing that one on the podcast as well.
And Wipeout.
Crash Bandicoot, Wipeout, and Tekken. Yeah. So all in the same month. So it's just deadly.
You should do a flashback and play the original Wipeout and the original Tekken.
Yeah, put them side by side or something like that. That'd be hilarious actually. Yeah. Just seeing them side by side.
Seeing the progress.
But that's going to be a top month. And then next week. Every month there's free games on the PlayStation that comes out. Right. And one of them is called Drawn to Death. The only reason why I'm highlighting it is because it's a super unique game, as in the whole game is drawn. So it's like someone just drawing in their notepad. Yeah. So you draw like a character sketchy, and then the whole environment is just drawn in this sketched environment. The whole game is a notepad, but in 3D. And you play like kind of Gears of War style, but your character is just drawn like with a big pen and just running around and shooting people. But the entire. So then you might fight some kind of shark zombie, whatever someone's imagined with their notepad, kind of thing, and it comes to life. So that's free as well. They're just giving it away for free. So I think it's done by one of the guys that used to work for God of War, like that studio. So it has a potential to be pretty sweet.
There's a new one of them coming out.
There is, apparently this year as well. So.
But you were already playing the other one, God of War 3 re-release?
Yeah, well that came out
re-emulated.
I haven't played it yet, but I mentioned it last week. Flash sales. I picked it up for like $3.50. Like you can't complain for $3.50.
No, you get a whole game for that. That's great.
That's like as much as an app on the iPhone these days, or Android. Yeah. So it's nuts. What else is going down? Destiny 2. Do you know Destiny, the game Destiny?
I know of the name. That's about it.
So that's coming out on Xbox. It's coming out on PlayStation. It's also coming out on PC. So
which one are you going to get? Because you could get all 3.
I could get all 3, yeah.
Side by side comparison.
I guess what people do is they get wherever all their friends are. So wherever, if you were to have any of those systems, well, technically you got the Xbox One. Yeah. Where are all your friends playing?
They're all playing Xboxes.
Are they playing Xbox?
Yeah.
Apart from me on the PS4?
Apart from you on the PS4. Because you're a dickhead and they want to hang out with us.
They're all dedicated to the Xbox, aren't they? So.
Back in Ireland, the Xbox got bigger. I think it got connected with the football games.
Ireland hasn't got the PS4 yet, has it?
No.
They haven't taken the shipments yet.
I think Xbox they had like the first football games.
I know that Xbox are like very
Xbox
FIFA
360.
And stuff,
I think that broke the market.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Big time. Because of that, everyone got Xbox.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's loyalty. That's good. So
like the same. Yeah. It's if you know it's a good
loyal bastards, the Irish.
You can't give out about it. You got an iPhone, even though you know it's shit.
Yeah, that's true. Doesn't have curved sides.
Doesn't have curved sides. It barely ever explodes.
Yeah. Barely.
So,
apart from the cold winters over here, where I'm glad that it heats up.
It's useless when you're getting attacked in the streets. You can't just throw it at the thugs. You're like, get out of my way.
Get out. And then the last thing was that Project Scorpio, that new Microsoft console. Apparently it's going to be shown off this week. So we might hear about it as well. We might hear about some Scorpio Sting.
Scorpio.
So, it's Scorpio.
Still don't know what it does. I just know it was a good name. It's just 4K.
I don't think anyone knows. Yeah, that's the only thing.
Actually, no one knows. We're going to find out if they release it.
Yeah. Apparently, they might have some kind of deal with Oculus as well. So you never know. We might be playing Halo in our Oculus. So
that will screw us up.
We'll have to wait and see. But lots going on in the gaming world,
especially in June when you're not just going to leave work. You're just going to quit.
Done. June's done.
There's no point in doing anything.
Yeah.
It's like, what's Alex doing?
I'm looking forward to getting Alex the Raptor and just beating you with every character. So
I've never played Tekken. I'm not going to know any of the moves. I'm like, I was going to press back, up, down, left, right, A and start. Just try and get a cheat going or something.
I think we talked about it. I can't remember what you said there, but who would you be in Injustice? Like when we play, who's going to be your first character you select?
I don't even know who's in it.
So,
I know there's they've got everybody. Yeah,
they've got like all the favorites, but then like there's Flash and there's Superman, Batman. I think there's a couple of Mortal Kombat characters.
Oh yeah, they got like a cross promotion thing, and they've got all the bad guys. I know that they had like Harley and they got Joker and stuff.
I'm gonna be Cyborg because I want to see how shit his suit looks. So.
Or you want to see how good it is compared to the trailer version.
It's probably the same version. So
I'm gonna see Flash.
I'd imagine to be Flash. So
I want to see like what you're gonna do because everybody in Justice League, he's the hardest one to make.
Yeah,
you know. He could beat anybody in a second. He's the Flash.
It's true, yeah.
He moves faster than people can think.
How much quicker than is he than Superman?
Oh, good question. Nerd question.
Oh, yeah.
He's back in the day, they always had the thing that him and the Flash would have a race around the world.
Yeah.
And then like they kind of had this moment where Flash just said, "Oh, I was always doing that for the cameras." This is a Wally West Flash, the fastest Flash there ever was. And he's just like, "That was always for the cameras. I'm faster than you could ever be." And it's not just like Flash can get up to the speed of light. It's that he can accelerate that fast.
Right.
Like, you know the way Superman kind of has to build up?
Yeah.
Like Flash can just go zero to the speed of light.
Right there. Yeah.
So that's why he's on a different level. I really liked there's a comic called Kingdom Come, which is about 20 or 30 years in the future.
Yeah.
And it's Flash has gotten so fast and he's just gotten beyond being immortal.
Sure.
Like he has no body anymore. You can't even see him because he's constantly vibrating.
Yeah.
And he's nearly everywhere at once.
Yeah.
Because that's how fast he is. And he gets to the point where he's so fast, he realizes he can see through dimensions.
Right.
And he can move through time.
Which is what happened in one of the films.
So like that's the thing. He can just do what he wants. He's fast enough that he's beyond speed. Like it's like he can run fast, but once he gets to his top level, he can go through time. He can go through dimensions. He can actually run straight through walls because he can vibrate fast enough
to go through
that he's just all the molecules go through. Yeah.
Huh.
So he's not just faster than Superman, he's like able to do things on a whole different level.
Oh wow.
And if you're going to be a real science nerd about it, technically speaking, he should be the strongest person in the universe.
Because he's traveling so quick.
Because he's traveling, because was it power is speed by force.
Yeah.
So if he's hitting you at the speed of light, you should be like getting hit by a meteor. Yeah.
Sure.
So yeah.
Okay.
It's the only problem with like kind of characters like him in comics is because once you apply any kind of real,
you can break him. As in like, oh, why have they done that? Like, he hasn't. Why did he go through the wall, or why didn't he go through the wall?
Yeah, and it's other things like when he's fighting people, it's like, oh, why did he get caught out?
Yeah.
How could that guy figure it out beforehand? Yeah. It's like whatever somebody's doing, he's faster than everything.
Yeah.
Everything moves at like it's like playing that Super Hot.
Yeah.
Everything just freezes.
Yeah.
So there's no way anyone could outthink him.
Yeah.
Because no matter what move, like what I'm trying to say is, you know when he's running around in a circle around people and then somebody shoots out and punches him because like they know where he's going to be.
Sure.
That only works when you're thinking of speed. I'm getting real scientific now. When you think of speed as something that's absolute. Like he's not a blur to him. Speed is relative.
Yeah.
So to him, he's moving at normal speed and whoever's in the center of that circle is stone cold stopped.
Right.
So even if that guy in the center of the circle is going to try and hit him, his arm's going to go out really, really slowly. So the Flash is still moving at a normal speed. So you just run around it. It's just one of those things of in comics, you can't really think about it too much.
No, of course not. Yeah.
It's like why can Superman lift that thing and it doesn't break apart?
Yeah.
And
you
all
think
that
about
shit.
it too much like that, you can break so much stuff that way. So
you just enjoy
especially
it.
With like time travel and stuff as well.
Flash is fast. He runs real good. That's all you got to know. Although thinking of that just quickly, I watched the Justice League trailer again.
Yeah.
There's a moment in it where I like the effects they have on him in the speed because he's just kind of zips from spot to spot so quick, like he would, like he's that quick.
Yeah.
But there's a moment that's like a half a frame or like a frame where you see him running real fast and everything's kind of slowing down. But I noticed it kind of looked like a tunnel, like his speed tunnel.
Yeah.
And I was like, that doesn't quite look like a speed effect.
Right.
And I'm thinking, are they actually going to use that as the moment when he goes to Batman v Superman?
Yeah, okay. He's going through like a little vortex.
Yeah, I think so. Like it just looked like
that'd be cool.
He was kind of doing.
Because you know how they did at the beginning of Batman vs Superman? It showed Superman.
Yeah,
that was one of my favorite bits, was showing them destroying the city.
Yeah,
you know how they went back to that film.
Yeah.
I know this is like a time travel thing, or but yeah, that would be cool if they link it.
But then again, we already said they're not going to reference Batman v Superman because that's a piece of shit, and they're going to be like, like no, that didn't happen. Batman doesn't kill people.
Yeah.
Everything, people make jokes now. Batman makes jokes. It's good.
You just don't know. Yeah, that's super interesting. Any movie stuff? Any movie stuff going down?
Let's go into our movie stuff.
Yeah. Well, I saw. I saw Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, you did see Beauty and the Beast. You want to do a review on it? Because I'm never going to see it, so you can spoil it if you want.
I was impressed.
Then again, I have seen Beauty and the Beast, the cartoon, so you're not going to spoil it for me.
Well, something I need to talk about is I didn't really grow up with Disney films too much.
Yeah.
So, like, I started watching Disney properly, like, with Toy Story.
You grew up with PC Magazine.
Yeah, pretty much. Codename Eagle.
Yeah.
So, I'm not going to lie. When I went into the cinema and it started the first song, I was like, oh, yeah. This is a musical. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, I'll admit this.
Your brain just kind of went,
because I was actually going in thinking I was just going to see a film.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, there might be a part where it breaks out or something.
Yeah.
But then within like 5-10 minutes, it breaks into, a song. And I'm like, oh, yeah, this is a bloody musical. I was like,
the song's all over this
thing. And then I was
thing.
like, I'm not sure about this. But actually, great film. They did it really well. Like, the CG in it and stuff was like,
but you haven't seen the cartoon.
No,
so we can't even talk about comparing it.
This
is a terrible review.
We need to put it side by side almost. Yeah, so, it is a terrible review.
Useless
review. Because this is the first time I've seen it. She's wearing a yellow dress. Is that,
hate
is that
musicals.
Correct? No. I've seen the iconic moments.
Yeah.
But,
was it good?
No, it was good. It was good. A few things to know, as in, like, I'm not like a huge fan, but it was the third. Is it the third week it's been out?
Yeah,
the theater was sold out.
Yeah.
Another thing is at the end of the film, the only films I've seen people clap are Star Wars, and I think someone clapped at Logan. Everyone clapped at the end of this film, but I guess it's more inclined because it's a musical and it feels like a performance. Yeah. But there's no one there, it's just a bloody screen.
What was the audience? Like, it was like lots of kids?
I would say probably 70% kids, so it wasn't crazy. And we were seeing more of a late night show.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, like, super nice. Yeah, the actors and everything. Like, I know I had the dude from Downton Abbey, but like the the Beast himself, like, he was lovable. I fell in love with him again. So, no, it was good. Emma Watson did a good job. Overall. I actually wonder. I haven't looked it up yet. You're on your laptop. Do you know where they filmed that? But no, I was impressed. Like, someone going in and wondering, oh yeah, it's a musical within 10 minutes. Enjoyed it, and I wasn't bored any time through it. And then if you wait for the credits at the end, Deadpool 2. No, I'm joking. No, but I would go as far as saying, if you're looking to watch something and fill the Saturday or fill the weekend. Yeah,
it was filmed Shepperton Studios, Shepperton, Surrey, England, UK.
Oh, it's in Surrey as well.
Yeah, so back in the hometown.
That's where, Well,
that's where Shepperton Studios are. You should have known that.
Well, I did. It's my company.
Well, all you call it is PC Magazine.
No, but yeah, enjoyed that. The It trailer came out.
Hang on, no, I'm segueing.
Oh,
actually,
okay.
no.
All right.
No, I want to go back to where you were. But it was weird because you like Beauty and the Beast, the guy who plays Beauty and the Beast. Mm-hmm. That's what I want to talk about this week later in my proper review.
Oh, yeah.
Because I've fucking seen it. I don't care if you haven't seen it.
What have you seen?
It's called Legion TV show.
Oh, yeah, you were ranting on
the guy who plays that is Dan Stevens.
Oh, is it?
The guy who plays Beast. So
cool.
We both love him now.
Nice.
So, yeah, do you want to go to trailers? Do you
sure.
want news or you want trailers? You go with whatever you want. Well, what do you want, Alex?
Whatever.
What do you need from me this week? What do you need from me?
The
trailers.
The red
cloud.
balloon.
I knew you'd go to the
red balloon. So I was hearing so much about it.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, "This is messed up."
Yeah.
People on my wall was just like, "What have they done?" Like, this is just. I watched it yesterday. Like, I watched it like 12 hours.
I watched it yesterday too.
12 hours ago.
Yeah.
Man, the beginning bit with the boat that goes down into the little sewer, and then you just see the face.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, you got me. Got me.
So I have to ask the question before we go into this. Have you seen the original?
I have seen it. Yeah.
And then the second question, have you read it?
No, I haven't. No.
All right. So I'm ahead of everybody.
Is that different?
I think I'm like one of the only people who's going to be able to watch this movie. Like, I've read the book and I've seen the original thing. Because I don't think a lot of people
read the original.
Here's the thing. I watched it as a kid.
Yeah.
I don't watch a lot of scary movies or I don't get scared at a lot of scary movies.
Yeah.
Like I was watching The Exorcist when I was 8.
Yeah.
I loved Alien as a kid.
Sure.
I like horror. I love that feeling of horror, but I don't get scared at horror.
Yeah.
It scared the fucking shit out of me.
Oh, wow.
And I never finished it.
Yeah.
I was that young and messed up by it.
Yeah.
That goddamn
Clowns.
clown in the goddamn bloody drain pipe.
It's the clowns, man.
And it was sort of, I remember it was on Sky TV, and it's a TV movie, so it was over 2 parts.
Sure.
And this was like a big thing back in the day. I remember they did it with that, and they did it with the Tommyknockers.
Okay.
But and I was like, this thing messed me up. And all I can remember, all these images of balloons full of blood dropping on people, and nobody could remember. And I was like, oh, this film is it scared the crap out of me.
So messed up, yeah.
But then when I heard they were remaking, I'm like, because I have such like strong feeling for it.
Sure.
And I read the book again, like maybe 2 years ago.
Right.
The book is, to go off on a tangent on the book, it's not a great book.
No.
I'll say that about it.
Okay.
The thing about it that makes it great is that the great bits in it are amazing.
Right.
But it's kind of all over the place.
Okay.
Like, I don't think anybody can read that and say that it's a perfect novel. It's 1,000 pages.
Yeah.
It's huge.
I haven't heard much about it. So,
yeah. Like, it's very hard to read because it's that big. But in terms of like what he does with it, Stephen King does with it, there's some amazing things in that. And most of it is around it. Okay. And the thing that was never in the TV show that I loved, or the TV movie, whatever, was like the town that it's in, Derry, which is named after Irish Derry. Oh, nice. They actually have that in the book. Nice. But the town of Derry has had this creature in it for like millions of years as it got stronger and stronger. And the whole town is just this shithole. But it's this shithole that's like, it's one of those weird things of a reality bending where everybody in the rest of the world, nobody kind of talks about the fact that Derry's got like all these missing people. You know, people get killed all the time. There's always these very horrible accidents every few years. Sure. Like, you know, nightclubs burning down and dozens of people getting killed. And there's like all this backstory in it. You just realize like the whole town is this filthy, horrible thing underneath it all, because it lives underneath the whole town. Yeah. And it's just this amazing world he creates. And then all the bits with the kids and all that's great. But there's a lot of filler. Like there's like 300 pages you could just chop out of that book. Yeah. But the book was great, and the TV thing scared the crap out of me. I liked in the trailer, I was starting to get Stranger Things vibes, because it was that the 80s, kids in the 80s kind of thing. I was starting to get those vibes. That's the thing I was going to ask you about. Like, what do you think the era is for this? Well, I just said the 80s there, and I was like, I don't know if it was. I don't, because I was watching the kids and I was looking at that kind of like sepia tone. I kind of got the early, and they were on like a slider thing. Yeah, I think I can't even remember the name of the thing. This is how old we've got now. I know. The carousel. Yeah. It was on I think actually early 90s, which is when the film came out. I think they've just gone for the same thing. Yeah, because the book was, the way the book is set up, like you remember, they have the kids, they grow up, and then the book takes place over those 2 generations. Right. So it's like a 30-year gap or something. Yeah. From the time that they were like 15 and they fought the creature up until the time that they have to go back and kill it. So I think it takes place in the 60s and the 50s and the 80s. Okay. I think that's, if I remember correctly. Yeah, the book came out in the 80s. Oh, is it the 80s? Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, because they're in the 50s. I remember they were talking about like 1950 something or whatever. That's when they were kids. And then like 80s was when they're grown-ups. That's what I mean. Like they were kids in the 50s. Grown-ups in the 80s. So where the hell is this? Because it looks like they're kids in the 80s, which means they're grown-ups now. It does feel like that. Yeah. So because I didn't really see any grown-ups. No, I don't think they're gonna go down that route. Yeah, it'll be interesting. Like spoilers for anybody who doesn't know. It's not a spoiler. Like if you don't know it, this isn't going to ruin it. But the general idea was it attacks these kids and then they kind of defeat it, but they don't actually quite kill it. And as the years go by, their memories kind of fade. Because that's the thing about Derry. The whole town's corrupted. Sure. And once you leave the town, you kind of forget about it. Yeah. So all these kids don't know what happened. And then 30 years later, they're all grown-ups. They have their own life. And they go back into the town. And all these memories come back. And they realize what this creature is. Because that's the power of it. Like, grown-ups can't see it. Yeah. They just get, like, affected by it. Sure. Kids can see it. Right. But what happens is whatever kids are afraid of, that's what it becomes. So for adults, they don't have the kind of fears kids have. Anyway, I'm going off topic. But the point of it is like it's two different time periods. Yeah. Split by 30 years. Yeah. But in this, I didn't see anything except the kids. Yeah, that's interesting with the adults. I don't think I saw any. No, because they have the thing of like his little brother.
Yep.
You know, he gets killed, and they have him, and they have the slideshow and all.
That's right, and it goes off on its own.
And it goes off, but I didn't see anything of like a grown-up version of the mean like, oh, we have to go back to Derry, we have to go back and kill it. Yeah. So I wonder if they're just going to do like a Stranger Things. They're just going to do kids versus the monster.
And I think they'll just do another one where maybe the adults will come through.
But is this R-rated?
So, I don't know if it is. I mean, it was pretty messed up. You should look it up. Yeah. I do know it's filmed in Toronto.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah. I'm just wondering because if it's not R-rated, then they'll probably just keep the kids, because it's gonna be real hard to do a full movie. Yeah. With like real gory crap happening to a bunch of 16-year-olds.
Yeah. Well, R-rated's the trend these days. So.
Oh yeah, it is. It'll be R-rated.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. So that's what we want.
Maybe it is gonna have a bunch of kids getting mutilated on screen. Because I don't think there's ever been a movie like that.
No. I think that's a pretty wise decision.
Well, not spoilers again for it, but we're just going to spoil it. Like none of the kids die in the book because they all grow up to fight it. So,
well, they weren't. Yeah,
they might change all that.
Even in the trailer, I know they don't like to give too much away, but it wasn't alluding to him like ripping people apart or anything like that. It was just him being super fucking freaky. Yeah. So
he definitely kills the little kid.
So no, but I'm just saying like everyone kind of thing. It's not like he's on a massacre or anything. But yeah, that one was messed up, man. Like the trailer did a good job. Like for you that's read the book and you've seen the other films, what did you think of that trailer? Did you think like this could easily get ruined? Or
yeah, like, but that's the thing I said, like the book's 1,000 pages long. It's really hard to take all that and make it into a 2-hour movie.
But did they do it justice?
But I think it did, like the main points of, if they're just going to tell a story of kids being terrorized like Freddy, I'm like, yeah, you can do that. I was gonna say, I don't care. I'm like I said, the book isn't so perfect that I'm like, don't change it. Yeah. I'm like, there's stuff in this you can drop, and you can. I would have liked that idea of adults going back and dealing with their childhood issues, and
does that happen in the first film, or?
Yeah, in the first film, there's 2 sets of them.
Oh, I thought it happened.
And it flips back and forth.
Oh, okay.
And the interesting thing
it's been a while since it's.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Like, but again, it doesn't end very well. It's got TV budget.
Right.
But the elements that it hits on, it does really well. I just like that thing of once you leave the town, you're kind of free of it.
Yeah, it's cool.
But once they come back, they start to remember, and all their childhood things come back and get them. They're like, oh shit!
It's like World's End.
Yeah, it is. It's exactly like World's End. They should have Simon Pegg as the clown.
yeah, that's kind of funny.
Because that's the thing. I was going to say they did do it in the TV show, but it can be anything.
Right.
And it scares you by scaring you about whatever you're scared of.
Yeah.
And in the book, you can get away with that because, not to get away with it, but it's a lot easier to build up what people are afraid of slowly and like what's in their head, and then hit them with something. They're like, oh my God, it's terrible. I think in like a movie like this with 2 hours, you're trying to get people screaming. Yeah. They're just going to hit on like big bursts of like, scream, and like the clown running at you when he's all wet and freaky.
Sure.
But yeah, the trailer looked great. I don't think it's going to be like, if you are a big fan of the book, I don't think you're going to be like, oh, this is shit, because it's not going to be the book. Yeah. But like I said, I don't think the book was perfect. So if you're going to change it, change it.
Well, it looked good to me. I mean, I don't go to the theatre to see a lot of like horror films. I will go see Alien. This one, I'd have to go see it with you or someone else. But it does look intriguing. It does look intriguing for sure. Another trailer, just while we're on them.
I just want to see how much they're gonna mutilate that kid. The kid in the yellow. Little George. He gets his arm ripped off in the book.
Goodness.
They'll probably. That's all they find of him. They only ever find his arm.
I reckon it's scarier showing just the little bits.
Yeah.
So it's like they find the arm, they find these little things here and there, and then maybe you get like a little flash of like the body. Yeah. But finding the little bits, and with the music and these days.
And it's only the first trailer. Maybe in the second trailer they'll show the adult. I would suspect if they're going to do adults in the second trailer, they'll have like a voiceover, like the main guy being like, we have to go back to Derry.
It'd be interesting if they did. The second trailer was all adults, but then if you play the first and second trailer together,
that would be really great.
They kind of go.
They're not going to do that because they're dickheads.
Unless they listen to this.
Yeah. Huh. They're going to steal our ideas. All the game companies are going to steal our ideas.
That would be super interesting though if they did that. You play both trailers next side by side, and it's just like they're almost talking to each other.
Yeah, that would be really good. Yeah. Do that. Whoever's making it trailers.
Do it.
Or the movie. I guess you'd have to write that into the movie. Yeah. The thing I wanted to talk about trailers this week in general was like, there's so many fucking trailers. Yeah. The last couple of weeks has just been trailer heavy because we're getting into summer months. Yeah. And the thing about it for me is I'm like, do we really want to sit here every week? Yeah. And just talk about trailers until the movie comes out?
Well, it needs to be the ones that are really like, I mean, like there was a new Alien teaser that came out. I don't want to talk about it.
I didn't watch it.
It's too much.
Because the one thing is, like, we like the movies we like, and we don't want to ruin them by watching these damn trailers.
I only want to talk about stuff that kind of...
But I know other people are, like, they're out there watching, like, oh, what do you guys think of this and stuff? And I'm like, I don't know. I want, like...
Usually
I think by now you should realize that trailer isn't the movie.
Yeah.
And you can have a bad trailer and get a good movie. Yeah. And you can have a good trailer and get a bad movie.
It depends on the movie, though. It's in, like...
I just don't want to be this, like, week-to-week speculation kind of thing, you know?
Sure.
I don't know if that's the way you feel. We're hashing out our issues right now.
We're building a podcast here.
Yeah.
No, I just think for me, like, it's such a massive film that I feel like we needed to talk about it. And also, I think we know when something is kind of making an impact online. You know, like, people are talking about it. I don't want to talk about every trailer that's coming out. Like, if Star Wars dropped, like we would talk about it. However, I don't want to talk about, say, like, The Mummy came out.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, the trailers came out. There was, like, It, King Arthur, The Mummy, Transformers, and Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And that's just a few of them.
But we don't have to talk about, you know, we just talk about, like, you could... I know you're a Spider-Man fan. I'm not a Spider... Maybe we hit on that. But at the same time...
Did you watch the new trailer?
We don't have to. No, I didn't. No, I'm trying to actually...
I would actually say avoid it.
We're talking about all this. I'm trying to watch less trailers.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like, I don't know if we're going to be the kind of podcast to come to get your week to week, you know, mini bits of information.
I think we're just talking about whatever hits us.
Yeah, I know.
Whatever hits
us. Like with Spider-Man, I'm going to tell you, don't watch the trailer.
Yeah.
Gives away too much.
That's good.
And it's only the second one.
Whatever this week.
Maybe that's what we'll do. I'll watch one and you have to watch one.
Well, it's basically whatever hits you. You know, whatever you get.
True.
Whatever you get the feels for.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like I got the feels for this. So like we obviously got the feels for VR, and we like talking about VR. I love my gaming.
Yeah.
You love your films and stuff. So whatever gives you the feels, just talk about it.
Yeah,
so that's why I mentioned it.
Yeah.
I mentioned it because when I saw him in the drain pipe, I was like, that fucking got me.
I'm going to shit a brick in the cinema.
When I close my eyes, I sometimes see that.
I can't remember what was the last horror movie I saw in the cinema.
In the cinema?
Yeah. It's not one of those things that
It's been a while, yeah.
Yeah.
I know I saw one of the Final Destination 3Ds in there, but that's not horror.
I think I probably saw Final... Oh, what was the one that had the logs?
Oh, that's number 2.
Yeah, I saw that in the cinema.
There's some funny memes online where people are like taking a picture and there's a lorry of all the logs.
Yeah.
And no one is parked behind it, and the guy just puts... All these people have seen Final Destination.
yeah.
Actually, there was also a little compilation of all the deaths from Final Destination put together.
Oh yeah,
some messed up deaths, but I think everyone remembers the first one, the plane.
Yeah,
checking the seat. I got a friend at work who checks his seat. He checks the when you can turn it and bring your tray table down. He checks it every time. If it comes out, he's like,
"Can I move?
I'm in trouble." Yeah, no, definitely. Whatever makes you have the feels.
Well, the biggest news this week that everyone else is talking about is the rumor that Joss Whedon is going to go and make Batgirl for DC.
I briefly read that. Yeah.
Everyone's going crazy saying it's going to happen. It's only a rumor so far.
I feel like it is going to happen.
Maybe it will happen. I think he's a fan of like comics. He likes strong women. That's the cliche with Joss Whedon.
Yeah. But who's he gonna?
But he's gonna
roll though.
The thing about it for me is
that's gonna make or break it. To be honest, for a lot of people.
Well, my problem is that he got to make the Avengers, right?
Sure.
He did a great job. He wrote and directed, made $1 billion. Then he made Age of Ultron, made $1 billion. Wrote and directed it. But he said that film nearly broke him because of all the Marvel interference. And they were like, okay, we have to set up the Infinity War. And you got to have this scene with Thor. And we're going to have this scene and that scene. And he's like, oh, this is too much. I just want to make my movie.
Yeah.
And he said he was under too much pressure to make it the same success. And I'm looking at DC. And this isn't another chance to shit on DC. This is just a fact. DC will be around the same point in time when Batgirl comes out. They'll have Batman, Superman, Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman, Justice League, and then probably the Batman movie or the Flash and Aquaman movies. Like, you might have somewhere between 5 to 7 movies out by then.
Okay. Yeah.
Which is a little bit further along than Marvel were when they had Avengers. But you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So he'll be coming in the middle of another universe. And I'm going to think, well, DC are going to say, can you make sure this fits in with this, and this?
Yeah.
And I'm
you never know, though. They might say, like, we're cutting ties with this and this. So
just do your own thing.
Have to. Yeah. I don't know.
It's just like with Batgirl, you're like, you can't have Batgirl and then not have Batman.
Yeah, no, of course not.
And we've already seen a Batman, and we've already seen a Joker, and we've seen a Harley Quinn.
Sure.
And there's rumors of doing Nightwing. And like, as much as I want to see a Nightwing movie and a Harley Quinn movie, the way the universe is currently going, I'm like, I don't know if I would want someone to go in there and try and make their movie.
Mm.
Like Zack Snyder's made a very narrow kind of way you can make a movie.
Sure.
So I don't see if Joss is going to go in there and be like, yeah, I can make this work.
When would he be doing the film? So
like the rumor is like 2019 it'll come out.
Okay, yeah.
So it's not that it's not so much like he can't course correct, but I'm just like, is this the kind of thing he wants to do? Because as much as people went out like Ultron, like he just made $2 billion movies and took a big break.
Yeah.
He can do whatever he wants.
But if he's saying he wants to do
if he's talking to them, yeah.
Well, maybe they've tried to sell it to him by saying like, we've learned from our mistakes, we're doing this, we're doing that.
They try to sell it to him by backing up a truck full of money.
And just maybe it's their way of saying like, we need to fix this, and like we're going to start with you.
Yeah.
Maybe because all their films right now are going about up to that mark, and maybe they've realized now, like maybe they're going to bloody reboot it.
Maybe maybe going to reboot it. Justice League will reboot it. Flash will run back in time and fix everything.
Yeah.
Well, everyone's had those fan theories that this isn't the real universe. This is the Injustice universe.
Right.
Or Flash is going to go to a different universe and see the real Superman, the real Batman that we all know.
Sure.
Again, like I don't care what you do with them.
Bloody happen though.
I don't care. Yeah, I don't care if you change it. It's just you did a bad job of it. Like I don't care if Superman's dark and Batman's dark.
Sure.
Like just don't do a bad version of it.
Yeah.
It's just something I'm going to bring up with Legion later on. Like that show does it well.
Yeah.
But it's like if you want to put all these characters in there, you've really got to like this is the thing. DC just didn't set up what the hell they're trying to do.
Yeah.
Joss Whedon makes a very particular type of show. You know, Firefly, Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah.
That's not the world we've been given so far. You know what I mean? So as much as it's great to hear he might do it, I'm like, you're not fitting in here, Joss. You're not the kind of guy. You're the kind of guy I want to see make that movie.
Sure.
Don't get me wrong.
But it's going to be drastically different.
But
or how is he going to work with what they've already done?
Yeah.
So.
Like, could you imagine if they brought out a Batgirl movie by Joss Whedon that was kind of like Buffy the Vampire Slayer? It would be great, successful, but you'd be looking at that and then you'd look at Suicide Squad and go, how do these things two... Like, look at that Joker with the deranged on his head, and look at that Harley Quinn, and then look at this Batgirl, and you're like, what am I supposed to get here?
Yeah.
I would love it if DC just said, screw it. They're all different dimensions.
Yeah.
They're all in their own worlds. Do whatever the hell you want.
But you wouldn't, though. You wouldn't, because, like, it's just too mixed up, and you couldn't have them mixed together.
I think it would. I think they just got to keep on the track of Justice League is a universe. So they're all in their universe.
Yeah. A bit like X-Men are.
Yeah, exactly. And everybody outside of that, just do whatever the fuck you want.
They should really do that. I understand like them trying to merge it all together, but it just gets way too complicated. Because also Josh is basically going to say like, oh yeah, I want this
Joss, not Josh.
Well, I'm going to call him Josh.
Fine, whatever.
Because Joshua's fine.
I'm just saying he has enough money to kill us, reanimate us, and kill us again.
Just launch the podcast with someone else. Same name.
Hi, I'm Alex.
But he's going to basically have these ideas, and then someone's going to say, you can't do that because of this. And he's like, I want to do
That's what I mean.
You can't do that because of this. And then it might come to a moment where, I mean, he must know that.
Like when he went in to do Avengers, for example. The script that they had, he hated it. He said, I'm rewriting this or I'm not doing the movie. Right. They said, okay, great. He didn't like the fact that the guy who wrote the original draft got to keep his name on it.
Oh, yeah.
But on the Age of Ultron, it was all him. Right. But on Age of Ultron, he had all the producers coming in saying, we need this character and we need that character and we need to introduce the Vision. And I was like, crap.
Right.
So when he came in on Avengers, that was like basically movie 4 in that universe. He had 2 Iron Man movies. But that's kind of just the same character.
Yeah.
Captain America and Thor. And then that's it. So he could come in and do whatever the hell he wanted. But when he's coming in to do Batgirl, he's got so much junk to deal with. And I'm like, he's not going to want that. Like if he had enough problems with Ultron where he could literally write the script and do whatever he wanted with it.
Sure.
If he's going to have somebody like Zack Snyder or whatever standing over me like, no, I killed Jimmy Olsen. Jimmy's dead. You can't use him. Oh no, in this one the Joker killed Robin already. Robin's dead.
Yeah.
Oh no, Alfred, we've already cast him. So we've got an Alfred. Oh no, we've already got Jim Gordon. It's like he won't. I don't see him, the kind of creative guy that he is, wanting to try and fit into this world. Like the Marvel universe is very fixed in what it has to do, but it does it very well, and they have a plan. So everything that comes out makes sense in that plan. But with DC, you're kind of just like, let's just see what happens. But what happens is that every guy who comes on after the next guy is trying to fix all the shit he did wrong.
Yeah.
And you just can't do it.
It's a knock-on effect.
It's a knock-on effect. And it gets worse and worse because you go from Batman, Superman to Justice League. You're just like getting everybody out there. So you're going to have to, like, if you're the guy who got the Aquaman movie, I've gone off on a rant now. If you're the guy who got the Aquaman movie, Justin Lin, you have to deal with the fact that the very first time anybody ever saw Aquaman is on an email that Wonder Woman opened.
With a logo designed for him by Lex.
No matter what you do in that movie, and like they have that cool shot from the Justice League trailer where he's smashing the whiskey bottle. And he's standing on the thing. It's like, that's cool, but you were underwater in a shitty camera, waving around on your thing, and you flew off. And the same with the Flash. The first time we ever saw Flash was a video camera. Like, it's just, you're always trying to fix the mistakes that have been made. And
he's probably making the film thinking like, nope, this didn't happen.
We're going to have a brand new... but what I mean is, that was bad enough. Like, the very first time you see Aquaman's that shitty thing, most people will forget about it. But Aquaman's going to be in Justice League, which means when he makes his Aquaman movie, they've already had him in a movie. So he's going to have to fix whatever the hell Zack Snyder does wrong in that movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Batgirl, Nightwing, the reason I think DC are bringing up these characters is because no one's seen them. No one's mentioned them. But even if they haven't, they still exist in Batman's world. Which means they're going to have to deal with all the shit that Batman's had to go through. Like, how can you have a Batgirl, Nightwing movie? Batgirl and Nightwing movie would be great. But how could you have any one of those movies and have them have a rule where they don't kill? Because they were trained and brought up by Batman.
Right.
Who kills? So how can they have, like, any moral code?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just this knock-on effect of once you screw Batman up, you screw up everyone Batman trains.
But they might not care as much about that because obviously the studio isn't caring, like, not sticking to those rules. So
you're right. The studio doesn't care. That's it.
I'm serious though. Like, and they might just change it that way. You know?
Yeah, they might.
But the thing is, it might be the hardcore fans like yourself who are having a problem with it. But
I guess you're right.
But they're out for the money. They're out for the average Joes that are like, this is cool, you know what I mean? But they should really answer the call to the fans.
I guess those are really hardcore fan kind of things. Like,
no, but I mean,
you're right.
You know,
even on a film front though, if you're going down that front, it's like, is Batgirl going to make you money? Like, if you're going to get a guy who just made the last two movies he made $1 billion, you're giving him Batgirl?
I think they're probably looking at projections of Wonder Woman and Woman Power and all that lot, and they're probably going, you know,
Joss Whedon's got a good characters of making
they've done that females. As well. They haven't rebooted Batwoman for a while.
Catwoman,
they haven't had something like that for a while.
I know, like, they're aiming for as many markets as they can because there's rumors they're going to make a Harley Quinn movie, but then they're going to put like Poison Ivy in it with her, so it's going to be like the Bad Girls and all this. And Catwoman as well. Sorry. Like, I can get it on the one hand. Like, it's great to have that, but you also just look at it and it's so cynical. You're just like, you're just trying to get girls in.
No, that's true. And that's why I was saying, like, it's probably is a market for it because they haven't done it for a while, and like, people want to see after. Well, I guess Wonder Woman will tell them a few things with sales and things, and
that's sure that's getting there.
I think it will do
2
well.
months away.
I think it will do well. I just don't think it will do well with the fans. You know, like with the comic.
I've already voiced my worries. It's not even comic complaints anymore. I'm just like, what?
Are you actually going to go see that one at the cinema?
Yeah, we have to go see it. We'll review it on the podcast. That's what we do. That's our job now.
But what about this?
At least if we both see it, we wanted to do a shitty half-assed Beauty and the Beast review.
Well, tell me about your Legion.
Yeah, Legion was... I heard
what is Legion?
Yeah, do you want to go? Do you want a spoiler review, or you actually want to watch this?
I don't mind. No, you can go ahead and do
Legion.
What you want, so.
How to start this? Back in the day, Legion was a comic book character.
Right.
He's in the X-Men universe.
Okay.
I have to spoil this. Like, I can't not spoil it. So anybody listening to this, I'm going to spoil it. But I'll give you a non-spoiler review on that. It's brilliant. It's the most original comic book show I've ever seen.
Right.
It's mostly like a horror.
Okay.
Rather, they're like,
is it on Netflix or something? Or?
It's Fox. Fox have it.
Okay.
Yeah, because Fox own X-Men movies.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So to give you a quick breakdown of it, it's about a guy named David.
Yeah.
David Haller, who's in a mental home.
Okay.
And David has heard voices all his life, and he's got split personality, he's got schizophrenia, and hears people, he's heard these things, and now he's slowly getting better. But then this girl comes into the psychiatric ward with her, and he gets very close with her. And what she does is she tells him that he's not crazy. What he is he's a mutant who's had powers all his life. He just never knew how to control them.
Okay.
So that's like the rough idea. And the story, it's only 8 episodes. It's not like a big long thing. It's 8 episodes.
And it's new.
Yeah. Okay. The first episode's an hour and a half special long one.
Oh, I heard of it.
It's really good in that it looks great. It's all about like mental states. So like it's got these weird camera moves. It's got these weird shots that they do. Like they turn the camera upside down. They'll have somebody walk in a room. Then they turn around. They're in the same room. That kind of thing. And it's also about what's in his head. Like, is there something in there that's like messing him up?
Yeah.
He's obviously got something that's traumatized him as a kid. And like he's being haunted by something. And you're trying to figure out what that is.
Sure.
So like it's got a horror element. It's got psychology elements. There's not a lot of action. There's not a lot of big fight scenes like a Daredevil thing. And it's 8 episodes, so you kind of really have to pay attention. There's no episodes that you can skip.
Right.
And it's also, like another great thing, like, I don't know if anybody can hear that. It sounds like we've got a giant rattlesnake in the building.
Either that or a fucking drone.
Like, I can't go on about how great it is in the sense of, like, aesthetically how it looks.
Yeah.
Like, you know the way every show starts with, here's the start, here's the credits.
Yeah.
Like this thing it'll start any way it wants, and it'll put the title in wherever it wants.
Okay.
Everything just kind of is fluid. It kind of represents his brain.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, if you want to watch it, I'd say definitely watch it. If you don't like it after the first episode, stop watching.
Okay.
Because you've watched like an hour and a half there.
Sure.
But yeah, the first episode, if you like that, the rest of it's great.
Yeah, yeah.
So now into spoilers for it.
Nice.
All right. I'm talking. Getting knock on the door, mate.
That guy doesn't want any spoilers.
Shh, no spoilers. Going into the spoilers.
Yeah.
David Haller is the son of Professor X.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Yeah. In the comic books, he does have multiple personalities.
Right.
But it's not a mental condition. What happens is if someone dies near him, he actually absorbs that personality.
Sure.
But he didn't know he was ever doing this, so he just grew up with mental problems, as everyone else saw it.
Right.
But his multiple personalities some of them are just made up.
Okay.
But some of them are actually real people.
Right.
But where his powers are like God level. He's like one of the most powerful of all time.
Right.
But the reason he can't do it is because of all his multiple personalities, they all control a different power.
Right.
So one of them's like a little girl, one of them's like a big guy, like a violent guy. And like one of them will control fire.
Right.
One of them is a telepath. One of them's telekinetic.
Right.
But like his powers go up and up and up and up because he can start absorbing anybody's powers. He can take anything on. And it gets to the point that in one of the issues, his brain heals itself and he's one thing and he can control everything he wants to do. And at that point, he can travel through time.
Right.
He can mold reality.
Right.
He can change anything. Like that's how godlike he is.
Yeah.
But the only reason he doesn't get to that point is because of his split personalities. And that's why he's called Legion, because there's so many in there. There's like 20 or 30 people in him. The TV show isn't exactly like the comic, but it's the same general thing of like he grew up with powers that he didn't know. Like mutants in this, it's the X-Men universe.
Yeah.
A spoiler there.
Yeah.
But he doesn't know he's Professor X's son. They don't mention the X-Men or Magneto.
Interesting.
But Professor X, they do give glimpses of him and hints of him. And they mention other characters that are X-Men.
That's cool. I like that they're not
Yeah.
like benchmarking themselves
No.
or like using that to boost the show.
So like if you're a fan of the comic, it's got enough great little things in there pointing to the bigger universe. It's like,
That's
it's cool.
Yeah.
But the other great thing is that it just, like I said with earlier, they just took the idea and they changed it. Like you can change Superman and Batman, I don't care.
Sure.
They took this and they put it in and they said, this is how it's going to work.
Yeah.
And they made a horror movie kind of feel to it. And then they made it look like that because that's the way it is in his head. Like, this is great. This is the way you should take it. You just take the general idea and then do what you can because you've only got a TV budget. But as it goes on, the TV show goes on, he breaks out of the mental home. He gets accepted by this group of mutants who are also on the run.
Sure.
And they're trying to figure out what his powers are. But as they learn, like episode to episode, he's just incredibly powerful. He can teleport, he can read minds, and he's getting stronger and stronger.
Interesting.
The only issue with it was the last episode, because I think at some point, like maybe around episode 6 or 7, they got the signal that they're going to get a second season.
Yeah.
So episode 8 kind of just
goes slow or something.
No, episode 8 it just kind of ends with this thing of like to be continued or like more to come, and nothing gets solved.
Yeah,
kind of like no.
Yeah. Was there like a bad guy in it?
Like that's the thing. Yeah, if I'm gonna spoil it for you, it does. Like this thing, like for a comic fan, it just hits the comic really well.
Yeah.
There's this creature called the Shadow King, who's a mutant parasite who finds psychic mutants and he latches onto them. And he just sucks all their power till he gets stronger or they die and then he moves on. Yeah. So 30 years ago or whatever, he fought Professor X. And in the comics, he's the guy who crippled Professor X back in the day.
Right.
Professor X destroyed him when he was younger and didn't know his power so well. But he beat the Shadow King. Shadow King, and in that fight, he ended up getting his legs broken.
Right.
His legs get broken all the time. There's like 5 different versions of his legs getting broken. Juggernaut broke them, or Magneto broke them, whatever.
Yeah.
He's always getting his bloody legs broke, that chap. Anyway, the accident that happened that got him injured like that introduced him to the woman that he would have the baby with.
Right.
So as far as I remember in the comics I read, he never knew he had that kid.
Okay.
Like they had a little relationship, and then he left and went back to America. Never knew there was a little baby David Holler.
Yeah.
So the way the TV show handles it is that at some point Professor X gives the kid away because he realizes the Shadow King wasn't killed. He's now like kind of got no body.
Right.
And he's hooked onto David. But he hooked onto David as a baby. So the show hasn't said whether or not Professor X knows that. Or if he's just trying to protect the kid.
Right.
So the kid's given away to an adoptive family. He never knows that he's adopted, and he grows up and he has a sister and all this. So that's all the show. And as the series goes on, this demon thing, you realize it's been there the whole time, screwing around with David, trying to get his power because he's so powerful.
Right.
And then around episode 7 or 8, they start to break it down. David starts to control himself, and you realize, I can get this thing. I can hold it.
Yeah.
And then episode 8 is they get him out of the body.
Yeah.
But he gets into someone else's body and he drives off.
Huh.
He literally drives off. That's the end of the episode. I'm like, man, it's just not satisfying.
Yeah.
So
is that season finale, or is that like mid?
Yeah, season finale.
Okay.
Like it's only 8 episodes for the whole season. So it was easy to breeze through for the weekend.
Yeah.
But the guy Dan Stevens, who plays the Beast, he plays Legion. He plays David.
Nice. Oh, okay.
And he's great in it.
Oh, brilliant.
He even gets to use, he uses an American accent.
So. But you said it's a horror?
It's a horror because this creature, the Shadow King, what the group are trying to do are trying to figure out what happened to David.
Yeah.
Because remember I said he's not crazy. He just has, he has things in his head.
Yeah.
That's what they're telling him. They're saying, you're not crazy, David. You're a telepath. So when he breaks out, he thinks he's great. But then they go into his memories, and then they start to realize there is something wrong with him, which is the Shadow King. They don't know that.
Yeah.
So it's not just that he's, got powers and that messed him up.
Sure.
There's actually something in his head. He's actually got a split personality.
Sure.
So as they're going through his memories and trying to get him to do these things, this thing is in his brain, in his memories, destroying him. And you start to learn all of his life, he was seeing things that weren't there. He was talking to things that weren't there.
Yeah.
And technically he's not crazy, but he is crazy because to everybody on the outside, he's talking about people that aren't there. Yeah. But it's the Shadow King. So you get this weird thing of like, what's real?
Do they call him the Shadow King?
Yeah, like episode 7 when they reveal him, they call him the Shadow King. His real name's Farouk Abdul or something.
Right.
But he's the Shadow King now because he has no body anymore.
Yeah.
It's really cool because like we're talking with it and the timeline, you don't know when this is set.
Okay.
You don't know what the time is. Because like the X-Men movies are all shit for time anyway.
All over the place.
They're all over the place. This never mentions any of the movies or anything, so you don't know when it is.
Yeah, it shouldn't do.
Yeah, the sister kind of looks like she's dressed in 60s clothes.
Right.
When he gets out, it kind of looks like now. Cars kind of look like from the 50s.
Okay.
One of the guys has a gun from the 30s. And what you start to realize is that you can't believe anything David's saying.
Yeah.
You can't believe anything he's doing.
Yeah.
But then when you throw in the comic book fact that he can change the world, he can literally change anything in the world. Like he can change the walls into spaghetti. He can change cats into monsters.
So it makes sense. Like
everything could just be changing because
you can't criticize the show for not being, like, oh, the guy was wearing jeans or this. This is.
But I think that's part of it. Like, it never. Like, it's also clever because then you're not going to date the show.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it looks like 2016.
You could be a bit more unique and random that way.
Yeah.
By having like a 50s gun or whatever, and then like a world today kind of thing.
Yeah, like there's a cool scene where he's in an MRI thing. So that's obviously now.
Yeah.
The MRI is connected to like the science guy, and the science guy's in the other room behind the glass.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have a laptop and screens. What he has is like this cobbled together, like old big chunky TV. And instead of like a keyboard, he's got a typewriter that he's hooked up for it. And then he's like got a screen that has like the readouts and stuff. So you've got like this mixture of like, oh, maybe it's just because they're on the run and they don't have any they don't have any money, so they can't do it.
Yeah.
So you never know where it's at. But for me, I'm always looking at it being like, this could all be in his head.
Yeah.
Or it could all be the fact that his powers can do this. He can just make it whatever he wants. Like if he thought that wall is blue, then that wall's blue.
Yeah, totally.
And everybody else in the world, he changes everything. He changes the whole world for everyone to see the wall is blue.
Did you know the series was coming out, or was it just like kind of...
I'd heard the series was coming out and I wasn't excited.
Oh, yeah.
Because A, Fox.
So,
B,
maybe not the budget.
Fucking Fox.
Yeah.
And then C, it was just like Legion doesn't make sense as a character.
Right.
Like he's more like nobody knows who he is. He's like a very important point in time for the comics. But in terms of like nobody in their right, he's not even Doctor Strange obscure. He's just out of nowhere. Like Professor X's kid, like no one knows he has a kid.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, he's a mental case who can like do all these weird powers.
That's cool.
I think that was the other thing of like his power levels are so big. How are you going to make a TV show about that?
Sure.
I think you should just watch the first episode.
Yeah, no, it sounds awesome. Like I the horror element of it sounds the most interesting out of it, because I can see it being like a Marvel like Iron Fist or whatever.
Yeah,
kind of thing
exactly.
like that,
and it's not that at all.
But it
really,
sounds very different.
And I'm really impressed that they went that route and they just said, yeah, you can do what you want with this. And I think that was the thing, like, because it's Legion, because it's a nobody, there's like, what do you want to do? Yeah. You want to have him in a mental home for like an hour? Yeah, sure. Do what you want.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, this is great. We'll give him a second season. So I'm looking forward to the second season. Do you know Jermaine Clement from Flight of the Conchords? Yeah. He's in it. Oh, is he? He's great. Huh? Yeah, he's just this.
Who does he play?
He's a mutant as well.
Okay.
And what's happened is it's one of those things, actually, I won't even tell you, but in the episode where he's introduced, I think it was like episode 4 or something. Sure. Like even I had no idea what's going on. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Yeah. It's that kind of thing. Like that's
usually the best times.
Like the show starts with him doing something and you're just like, what's going on here? Sure. And then it's only like near the end of the episode you kind of figure out what's happened and where he's at. And then you're like, oh, okay. But the show, I just love the fact that it starts. Yeah, that's the thing for me that got me. It just starts every episode. Yeah, and it doesn't know the things like previously on. Yeah. It does it in its own little way sometimes, but generally it's just like we're going into it. Yeah, and we might have the credit right now, or we might have the credit later. Sure. So if you're watching it, all you know is it has Legion, and then the O has the X-Men symbol in it.
Nice, I like it.
Yeah, but there's a lot of hints that the next season they might put in an actual X-Men reference or something. Yeah. Or not a reference, a character.
Well, it's a good way of like kind of getting more people.
I don't know if they'll get Patrick Stewart back, but they might get a younger guy to play Professor X.
Sure. Yeah. I wonder if they'll get what's his face, the younger version of Professor X. You know?
Oh, get McAvoy.
Yeah. That'd be hilarious.
That'd be a great cameo for him to do.
He'd do it. So
you could shave his head
again.
again.
That sounds super interesting though. Like
it is really great.
Only 8 episodes. I like the sound of that because I can't do 24, 25 episodes anymore. So,
oh god, no. And even with the Netflix, the 13, you're like, yeah. Because I haven't gone back to I was gonna finish
Iron Fist. Yeah,
I was gonna finish the back half of Iron Fist. And I said I'm gonna give this Legion a go.
So Legion
I'm gonna give it one go.
Leaps and bounds above Iron Fist.
It's everything you want out of a comic book.
And what about production value from an Iron Fist to Legion? Not that matters.
No, it doesn't matter. I wouldn't say there's that much of a difference.
Okay, that's good.
Actually, no. Like I'm thinking of Iron Fist has got how to put this. Iron Fist has got a bigger budget.
Sure,
but Legion uses what it has better.
Okay,
and it's got a style to it.
I think there's only so much.
Like if I showed you a shot from Iron Fist, and Daredevil, you probably couldn't tell them apart. They look they're the same show. It's like a soap opera now.
I know what you mean.
And like it's fine. Like they're doing a good enough job.
Legion's got like a little
Legion. You're just watching me like this is the only way. Yeah. Or not this is the only show that looks like this.
Yeah. And it needs
that's what you
want.
What
it needs. Yeah, because it needs to stand out from the crowd. Yeah. Exactly that. So.
And that's the big thing. And Dan Stevens, he's got a great role. Everyone is pretty solidly characterized. No. Yeah, I don't think there's anything super bad about it. Like even the final episode, it's not bad. It's just the rest of them were so great. Yeah. So like,
I'll put it on the list.
Yeah, should definitely check it out.
That was a good not as good as my Beauty and the Beast.
It wasn't a Beauty and the Beast level review, no.
Not bad at all. Game of Thrones, teaser came
back.
Out.
Oh,
Sorry?
Teaser?
Yeah, the teaser came out.
We said we're not watching trailers.
Well, it was a teaser. Teaser trailer.
Oh wait, I want to give a quick comic nerd thing. I realized that David Haller in the comics is probably the most important character for the last 20 years.
Yeah.
Because I traced it back, right? This is big comic info dump for you. You won't know it. Remember I said he got all his powers together. He got his shit together. He said, right, I'm not being a psycho anymore. I'm in control. When he did that, he traveled back in time to try and kill Magneto.
Right.
Because he wanted his father's dream to come true. Because he never knew Professor X really. They never got the bond. And he just said, the one thing I can do is I can give him his dream of peaceful unity. And the best way I can do that is if I kill Magneto.
Yeah.
So when he goes back in time to try and do that, he destroys the universe.
Right.
Because what happens is he lets the world know there's mutants like 20 or 30 years before there should have, like before it happened in the real world.
Sure.
So you know Apocalypse? Not the shitty movie one. but the shitty movie one. But like he wakes up and realizes mutants have come back.
Right.
He takes over the world.
Yeah.
That creates the Age of Apocalypse.
Yeah.
From the Age of Apocalypse, the Marvel comics then go into the Onslaught saga, where Professor X goes crazy.
Yeah.
And he kills all the superheroes.
Right.
And then from that, all the superheroes come back, and then that leads into Civil War and all that stuff. So everything traces back to David Holler creating the thing.
Bloody hell.
I was only the other day, or just on Sunday when I was watching all the episodes, I'm like, he's a pretty important character. They probably should bring him back a bit more.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh wait, no, you can't bring back gods because they just do whatever they want.
I know. It's hard to write a show about gods.
Oh, I got a quick movie news before you go into anything else.
Yeah, man.
Your favorite movie, The Expendables?
Oh, Stallone.
Stallone's dropping out.
Oh,
you know already?
Oh, I know. Yeah.
I probably got a Google alert for that, don't you? Expendables movie.
Is he dropping out? I heard that he was like, yeah, he wasn't too sure about it. So,
but he is the Expendables.
So, yeah, no, he's the one that made it, isn't it? So
he writes it too, doesn't he?
Well, I mean, it's.
I say write very loosely.
Yeah, but these days you got so many actors in it that they don't need. Well, like it does need him and it doesn't. Like, yeah, I think it should end. You know, and he's the original creator. Shit. So yeah, I know. What was the Russian?
Put down our commentary.
What's the Russian from that? Duff. What's his
Dolph
name?
Lundgren.
Yeah.
He's not Russian. He's
I call him Russian because
you call him Russian because Drago.
But you know he's like a rocket scientist.
Yeah, he's chemistry. Yeah,
he's a bloody genius.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were just looking up the other day. You know why? Because he's in Kindergarten Cop 2.
Oh my god!
Which came out last year.
Did it?
Last year. It's not like 10 years ago.
No.
He's in Kindergarten Cop last year. So and we were just looking him up. We just found that funny.
It's not a tumor.
The only other thing I had on my list was that I think they're making a Venom movie, and I think it's going to be R-rated as well. I think they're doing a lot more R-rated movies.
Well, Deadpool made
from
money.
Deadpool and then Logan. It's like a trend. Yeah. Hopefully they don't kill that shit, but
as long as they do a Logan and they don't do a, like I'm trying to think of a shitty R-rated one that came out. But yeah, don't just make it R-rated.
Yeah, just for the sake of it. But I've always been really interested in Venom because he's a real dark character.
Yeah.
So, and I know they did it in Spider-Man 3, but they really messed him up.
Oh yeah. Well, that's why you're always worried. Like if Marvel say they're going to do something, you're like, great. But when anybody else says they're going to do something, you're like, oh yeah, sweet Christmas.
Sony keep messing up.
That's why Legion. I'm like worried. I'm like, oh, Fox are going to do it.
Yeah.
Fox, come on, really?
Yeah.
Because they're like, let's do X-Men Origins Wolverine, and then Sony, you're like, yeah. Oh, they did Spider-Man 3. Yeah. They did Amazing Spider-Man. They did Amazing Spider-Man 2. I'm like, oh.
Oh, that is one thing.
So Venom, I'm like, yeah, he'd be an awesome character.
They haven't done him well, and it's hard. It's going to be hard for them to pull him off.
And he's a character that does need to be R-rated.
That's what I was going to say. That's a really, really good start, having him R-rated. So.
And it's not one of those things of like, oh, let's make him R-rated to sell more tickets. It's like, no, he's a character who's kind of like the Punisher. Yeah. Like everyone thinks he's a bad guy. He just hates Spider-Man. Yeah. He's generally trying to do the right thing. Yeah. And then I don't know if you follow the comics enough to know the current version of him. No, I don't really know him too well. The current version isn't Eddie Brock anymore. Right. It's Flash Thompson. Oh yeah. Spider-Man or Peter Parker's high school bully. Okay. He grew up. He joined the army. Became a special ops guy. Yeah. He lost both his legs. Yeah. But he decided that he would join the program to have the Venom symbiote. Right. So now he's got Venom, and when he has Venom on him, he can obviously walk and do Spider-Man stuff. Sure. But he's like gun-toting, like he's like a commando Venom, and he's sent off to do like he's like the Suicide Squad. He's sent off to do the worst horrible missions. Yeah. But like that's a really cool trend. Yeah. I think they'll go with the Eddie Brock version. Yeah, most people because that way they can probably tie him into the Spider-Man movie. Sure. But who knows? Like the legal issues now around those characters are getting kind of messy. Like Marvel are making Spider-Man. Yeah. But it's Sony's control. Right. And now Sony can make Venom. Yeah. Because Marvel don't own Venom, so they can't. Yeah. I think Marvel had to get special permission to use not only Spider-Man but all the other characters in the movie. Right. Because they don't own the character. They don't own Mary Jane. I mean, they don't own. Yeah. It's like, oh man, this is gonna get real weird in like 5 years. Yeah, it's gonna be a knock-on effect. Because they're all making money out of it. Like, what's the thing? Like, if Spider-Man makes $1 billion off this, then Sony are like, well, fine, we'll just take the money. Yeah. You do all the work, we'll take all the money. Yeah. And Marvel will be like, well, okay, because then you won't shit on it and make another Fantastic Four movie. Yeah. Well, they'll actually get something that was out of it. Fox, was it? Fox was Fantastic Four, but then they balls that up. It up. Yeah. So, yeah. That's the thing. That's the thing in comic book movies. If Marvel does it, you're like, all right, it might not be like Citizen Kane,
Yeah.
but I'll enjoy it. But anybody else tries it, even DC, you're kind of like, I'm worried now.
Yeah.
I was worried Batgirl. They're giving it to Joss Whedon. I'm like, I'm worried.
Nah, you don't know.
They just need one. Just get
one good one in the tank. Yeah.
And I'm not counting their TV show. I like The Flash. I watch The Flash.
Yeah.
But just one movie.
Yeah.
That's so hard. One movie that doesn't need
happen.
Christopher Nolan. That's all I want.
It will happen, man.
No more Green Lantern. No more Suicide Squad. Just come on, Wonder Woman. Just, come on. Let's do this.
I wouldn't bank on that one.
Oh, God, no. Maybe Justice League. They have jokes in the trailer.
So far, so good.
Actually, here's the thing. I did want to kind of bitch about Justice League after watching it again.
Yeah.
As somebody who doesn't know the comics, Alex, can you tell me what the film's about?
The Justice League?
Yeah.
I think it's those flying dudes from
Right.
Batman's Premonition or something.
Right.
Are they coming down to attack? That's because I just saw them in the trailer. So I don't know though. So that's all I know is I know that there's a dark spirit coming. They need to, get everyone together. I know that Superman must come back at some point.
They've all got to start a WhatsApp group. They've all got to get in there.
From the trailer, the only thing I know is that there's flying dudes come down.
Right.
And I think I saw them in Batman. You know, when he was going. That's the only thing I know.
This is kind of what I mean. Like, you watch that trailer, you're like, well, I know all the heroes are in it, but what the hell is this film?
Yeah.
It just looks like the start of Injustice.
But unfortunately, they're doing a trailer 2 for that, and then the trailer 3 will show even more. So trailer 2 will show more of the enemy, and then trailer 3.
Is this trailer 1 or 2 though?
It is 1. We talked about it last week.
No, but do you remember they had the release they brought out at Comic-Con? Was that trailer 1? That doesn't count?
Tease. That's why I mentioned
it. So
that's
that's a 3-minute tease.
Yeah.
And then they have this trailer.
That's why I mentioned it last week. I feel like I know these guys personally. It's just like I've seen them so much.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And they didn't even have before the trailer came out, they released those 5 bloody videos.
Yeah.
10-second things.
Lex released those with his logos. With his logos.
Marketing team be like, all right, this is what we've worked for so long.
Make it a shiny logo.
Let's call him the Flasher. No, just the Flash.
Just put it on screen for a second.
Yeah.
So geez. But
you don't know what the story is.
No, nothing.
I'm not saying I do know what the story is.
I'm just going off the trailer. No, I don't. No.
That's what I mean. Like, I think it's kind of like look at all our cool stuff. Like,
so far, that's DC. To be honest, though. I mean,
that's what has me worried. I'm just like, that's a Suicide Squad job again.
Yeah. It's like, look at all these people, look at the cool scenes, look at this.
That. Again, I want it to be good.
Yeah.
But like you said, trailer 2 is going to have...
That's the way they're rolling.
Maybe trailer 2 will play like the story out a bit more.
Yeah.
And show the bad guy. And then obviously trailer 3 is going to show Superman coming back from the dead.
Well, the more they go with that kind of trailer, the more... I feel like the younger audience they're going for, because the younger audience just want to see them walk together, slow-mo, the hair going, all that bollocks. But I think the older audience wants to see Marvel story, you know, development. We've seen 3 Iron Man films, and we've seen like an Avengers, the development of the characters. I feel like DC are almost just going for the kid market. Like, hey,
well, that's the thing. Like, what market are they going for anymore?
Yeah, I mean, they're obviously trying to go for adult as well because it's quite dark. They're darker films, but just the way they shoot them and the way that they walk together in slow motion, to me, just says like, that's kids.
Fast and Furious kind of thing.
Like, it's cool every now and again, but like their trailer ends on them all walking towards the camera, and it's like a slow pan in. That's a very cheesy thing, to do. Yeah. So, but kids love it, so maybe they're going for that.
I think that's the issue, like with this movie, because this is supposed to be the team coming together. Yeah. And you're like, Marvel did it by having us watch each of the movies, and then the big team movie. Yeah. And then they did it again, so we're now at Infinity War. Yeah. Like, you can see them ramping up every single time, getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And in this, I'm kind of like, maybe you guys should just make standalone movies. Like, just have, like I said, the Batgirl and Nightwing, just put them on their own.
Focus on that character.
Because then you don't have to deal with, like, linking them all. And having that bullshit.
I think that's their trouble. I think they're, like, having blooming family tree problems.
Yeah.
Like, when they're trying to, like, link it all together. And it's like, well, this person, and this. Yeah. But they're dead because he's killed them. Yeah. But then how did he kill them? Because he would have been younger.
But they're like, best friends now, and he's got kryptonite, and he's over here. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you're not going to please the comic fans then, because
someone in the studio must have said like, "Oh, it doesn't matter, because of this and that." It's like,
they're just looking at the X-Men movies, being they made money, no one cares.
But the X-Men, I think, have just blatantly said like these are all over the place.
But the X-Men movies as well are just kind of like, it's only the X-Men, no one cares. Yeah. Whereas the Superman and Batman and Nightwing and they're you know.
Well, people care about X-Men as well. I mean, to be fair,
but I mean, like it's only them. They're only screwing themselves.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Like when you're making an X-Men movie, you're just making another X-Men movie and another one.
Yeah. Whereas
it's not
DC are like, every film that you make from now on has been affected by this one.
Yeah. So it's that domino thing. Like, come on, guys. You killed Jimmy Olsen.
Yeah.
You can't bring him back for that.
Jimmy.
You've killed Clark Kent. You can't bring him back.
Yeah.
I think this movie, Justice League, they're just going to reboot it. They're just going to say Flash goes back and fixes everything.
Look how quickly rebooted Batman. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Matt Stevens is still on to do that. So that's good. It's been a week. Well,
we're on to do it in the next month.
Oh yeah, Batman.
Going in.
Yeah, that's it.
We're doing it. We're going to reboot. We're going to press the reset switch.
Just reset. We're in the VR Batmans now. And I'm going to do a real Batman. I'm just going to kill you until you tell me my mother's name. So yeah, I got no more news this week for you. Oh, the other thing was Alien Day.
Oh yeah.
Last little shout out.
Yeah.
Alien Day is going to be the 26th, which I think you said the
I love
Batman game's coming out.
You're going home for it.
I'm going home for it. That's what I'm doing.
You're going home.
I'm going home on the plane. I'm going to burst out of the chair.
Okay.
So that's coming out. So obviously next month.
So they're re-releasing the original film.
They're re-releasing it in cinemas. Yeah, the 1979 film.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so you can go. I don't know if they'll do it here in Toronto. I'd say maybe Dundas will do it.
Yeah, they usually do those.
Shout out to Dundas, great little cinema over there, which is not small. It's huge. But they always have those classic movie nights. I think they had E.T. last month.
That's awesome.
But yeah, because it's Alien month, because the next month is Covenant.
Yeah.
We're going to do our Prometheus commentary at the end of this month. And we're going to do Alien Isolation VR.
Get in there.
And then we're going to have to do a podcast review of Alien Covenant.
The new one, yeah.
Yeah, when it comes out. Because we'll come out and we'll do it on the Monday. And we'll give everyone our thoughts. And hopefully one of us will like it. And the other one, probably going to be a prick like I always am.
We'll see. At the moment, it's looking quite similar to Prometheus, which I still love.
Which you still love.
But I don't want to see it again.
I'm interested. I'm going to look forward to when we sit down watching Prometheus together.
Yeah.
And the other thing I was just going to say, we got a commentary on Doctor Strange coming out soon.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. So we're getting loads of commentaries because people seem to like them. They're saying, do more commentaries. And we're like, no.
Getting some good
news.
We're
saying, whatever.
So, we enjoy doing them.
Yeah.
There's always nice little Easter eggs. Actually, I introduced the podcast to a friend the other day. He hasn't seen Batman vs. Superman, so he's going to play our commentary while doing it. So he's going to use it like that. But it's interesting.
Cool.
Some people haven't seen that film yet.
Yeah, I know. If anybody has any ideas about what they want us to do a commentary on in the future, just let us know. Send us a tweet at rantingbollocks or send it to the Gmail. rantingbollocks@gmail.com.
You want us to talk about, if there's a game you want us to talk about, if you want us to try something, like we've got the Oculus, we have the consoles, or if you want us to watch a particular film, like Paul said, let us know. Yeah,
we'll try and get on it. We're going to try and do a bit more responsive feedback to what you guys want out there. Yeah. Because now we've got all the gaming consoles and all the movies and the TVs and the Netflixes.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, we'll have to do, like, with Injustice, maybe pick characters that you want us to fight against or something like that.
What's the best combos you want to see? Whichever one it is, I'm going to lose.
Yes.
So that's all you got to think.
These games are usually button smashers, but
kill him. Boom. As long as it's not a keyboard, because then I might have a chance.
True.
Because you would beat the crap out of me on a keyboard.
On a keyboard and a mouse.
Like, where's the up button?
It's the up arrow key. It's missing. Yeah.
So if anybody does want to send us a tweet, rantingbollocks.com, or you can send us a Gmail, or you can use that Twitter, not Twitter, the YouTube have a direct link.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't want to do that, do whatever you want. Send us a comment. We don't care.
It's your life.
It's your life.
Yeah.
We're happy just the people who are listening. If you want to help us keep the lights on, we're at Patreon, rantingbollocks.com.
Oh, yeah. Because they've just gone off.
They have gone off. And there's that guy banging upstairs giving us crap.
Yeah. Well, it's all the spoilers.
Yeah, but I don't think you have to give us money.
Before we leave. Sasha. I don't watch it. I got a text.
You're still out.
I got a text from the wife. You were right. So she's gone. She's gone. She's beamed up.
She walked into the woods.
Scotty beamed her up. So I think the last episode she should have just put the Star Trek uniform on and they should have just messed the whole universe up and just beamed her up. Like just before Negan was like in a club.
I'll tell you what. No, this is what she should have done. This is absolutely what she should have done. She should have just been like, someone she really cares about dies because she made a mistake or something.
Yeah.
And like she's looking, I don't know who's left, so I can't say. But like, say Carl.
Sure.
Carl dies.
Carl.
I'm sorry, Carl.
Carl.
I'm through making decisions. Carl. That was my Rick.
That's pretty good.
So Rick is mad, and everyone else is mad at her, and Coral is dead. And she's like, I can't do this anymore. And she just goes, computer, end simulation. And the holodeck, it just turns into a holodeck, and it all shuts down.
Yes.
The doors open, she walks out, and the doors close.
Yeah.
That's what it should have done.
And she just goes to the bloody machine, goes, Earl Grey tea.
Yeah. Oh, no, she just goes to the doors open, she walks out, she looks back on it and just goes, continue. And then the doors close, and then the walking day keeps going, and then everyone watching just freaks the hell out.
And then Riker's just there, and he goes, "That was fucking bollocks." Yeah.
So she's gone. She's definitely out to space.
Yep, she's beamed up.
Yeah.
So, I don't watch it, so I don't know how, but she's beamed up.
Okay.
I think it was the season finale as well, but yeah.
Well, we'll both probably check out the first episode of that new Star Trek.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. So
hopefully it's good.
They launched a VR one as well, so we'll be.
They got. You can sit on the
aboard the Enterprise at the same time.
Yeah,
so,
that'd be cool.
Yeah,
I think that's for this week.
Yeah,
unless
thanks
you got
again,
anything
guys.
Else. Yeah, thanks everybody for listening. It's always great to have you here.
Yeah,
re-emulating our bullshit, our Echo listeners, or wherever else we're doing.
For sure.
I still need a catchphrase. Well, what's on the wall there? Ask more questions. That's what it says, and then it says, "Don't
That's what
say
we need
nothing."
them to do.
Yeah, ask more questions.
Yeah, we want to answer.
No, I don't like this. I don't like people listening to us. I don't like people watching us.
Well, people are just doing it.
So the longer we can go having no letters, the happier I am.
Because the letters are handwritten and delivered.
Yeah, because I just think this goes off into the world and no one listens to it.
Yeah.
But now you're telling me your friends are listening to us, so I'm like, balls.
There's friends out there. People are tuning in.
No, it's bullshit.
Tuning in.
Tuning in.
The little radio thing. So.
But if you are tuning in or listening or iPodding, thanks. It's always a great pleasure having you here shouting at us for being idiots and not remembering half the things we're talking about.
Oh, yes.
What are our recommendations this week? Beauty and the Beast?
Yeah, Beauty and the Beast. I mean, you heard that review.
Legion.
So, no.
Titanfall 2.
Titanfall 2 for sure. And then VR Super Hot.
And if you can steal a VR suit, VR Super Hot.
Super Hot.
Yeah.
You know what? I'd actually go as far as saying is Super Hot. Just play regular version. You'll love it. You'll love it.
Oh, yeah. So, cool. Yeah.
Well, thanks again, guys.
Thanks,
been a
guys.
Pleasure. Always a pleasure. Boom.